Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Court Battle League. We bring you the best esports in the world. And today we're bringing you the best battle royale game in the world. We're talking about Apex Legends. It's going down. I'm very excited. We just had the Apex Legends Global Series playoffs happen this weekend. And man, oh man, what an amazing time. Some great players and teams, some amazing casting. The presentation was crazy. It was a landline, actual physical event, which is what we need from the community. And man, oh man, we're going to talk about all that, but let's get this party started. The beginning, we're here from madgamer.com bringing you Court Battle League. That's right, Apex Legends. This tournament today is a qualifier. It's open to the public. Anybody and everybody can enter. All you have to do is go to our Discord and sign up, and you are in it to win it. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to start off with a quick hello. Hope everybody's good out there. I'm feeling really good out here. And we are literally seconds away from starting our very first match of the night. There's plenty of matches to go forward, and I'll break it all the way down and give you guys a quick summary. I'm gonna make it very quick today because we want to get these games rolling and get the ball started. Thank you guys for everybody that's following, liking, subscribing through our social medias and our live streams. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, all over the world. Thousands of viewers. Thank you guys so much. Check it out right now. The qualifiers are very simple. It's open to the public. Every team can play in 10 events. The way you score is through placement points and elimination. You want to score as much as you can because the top teams can make it into the playoffs. That is pretty much the system and the format. We're going to talk about the format very quickly. Today we will play 6 games, and they will be a really fun time for all the players because we're going to play just like the professional ALGS, which is going to be Storm Point, and 3 games in Storm Point and then 3 games in World's Edge. And players are going to be playing for placement. As you can see here, first place gets 12, second place gets 9, etc., etc. And eliminations are 1 point each. That is the general format. That is the general setup. This is everything you need to know right now. Okay, so we are going to get it going and get the ball rolling as we speak. And game number 1 is about to get started. So guys, it is really going down right now. Should be a good time as we continue to bring you the best in the world, Apex Legends. So I'm super excited about it. I hope you are as well. We should be having a great night of games today. So stay tuned and rock with us as we go forward. With all that out of the way, again, make sure you show support. We want to build this community. We have a lot of great events every single week, multiple times a week. You can sign up to all of them. Everyone is locked in for that, and there's no, you know, top player, pro players only, nothing like that. We have no requirements. Just come in and have some fun. You're welcome here. So your support also, whether it's sharing this on social media, letting people know, sending them a link, maybe following, subscribing, donating, whatever you feel is best for you, go right ahead and give us that support because we need it, we want it, we love it, and it's going to lift this up and take us to the next level. We have a YouTube channel we're going to be starting very soon. We're looking for video editors. We also want casters. We want scorekeepers, modders for the Discord. We're basically building this thing to the next level and trying to build a full team that can really take this to new heights. All right. That is it. Okay. With all that out of the way, we're going to start up game number 1. And we got some amazing teams that we want to talk about, but we're going to wait until we're actually in the match and see what everybody's doing and what it's looking like. And right at this very moment, We're going to start off with a new team that we've never seen or heard of, which is called PGR. Who is this team? What are they about? What are they doing? We're going to find out. And there's a lot of teams to talk about, which I'll get into shortly. But you definitely 100% want to pay attention to what's coming right now. Game number 1 in Stormport. As you can see right now, they're currently a lot of great teams making their way through the areas, and Antenna is where we're watching PGR currently try to make their push and get the ball rolling as we go forward. Today we do have a commentator, and we're going to bring him on board. He's actually a player, and all the players are welcome to join us as well as we go forward. And we're already going to be in the action when I do introduce him, so we're probably going to end up talking about the action right away. But as you can see, PGR are currently in the mix with another team. I'm going to introduce him very quickly, but we want to also get the ball rolling. We got Brendan in the building. What's going on, Brendan? And I'm not sure if his mic is working, but yeah, so as you can see right now, we're looking at Team PGR currently prepping to step it up right now, most likely, and try to compete. And they're hot and heavy, let's just say, as they prepare to take this fight right now. And let's move on over and see what's going on here. I like what I'm seeing from him. He has a massive and a peacekeeper. I always talk about a shotgun and a wingman together is going to be amazing. And the reason for this is because, oh my goodness, and PGR getting shot through the window. One of their players going down. They're getting a chance to revive them, but they will get pushed here, so they have to be careful and be smart about it. And you can see great grenades going out, and they're doing a good job. They got 2 of the players down. It's 1-on-3. Can the Gibby survive? No. And look at that right away. Good guys going down in the start of this event. Man, oh man, what a beginning for our event here. And PGR is actually a new team. We've never heard of them or seen them in our tournaments. So these are things that, you know, as they play, they create profiles for themselves in our events and create a legacy of their own. And that's why this event is called the Legacy Series, because we want to highlight teams and give them their shine that they deserve. So right now, PGR doing their job for the moment, taking care of business, and you like to see that. And you know, at some point we'll have our special guests on board with us, but for now, let me go ahead and switch the scene over so we can see Too Steady. And these guys actually been here about a week ago. They started playing with us, and they did pretty good, if you ask me. And right now they're coming back, and they're in the middle of a fight. You got to be careful. He has the car. This weapon right here, to me personally, one of my favorites. I think it's a very critical weapon, let's just say. And basically what I mean by that is that you can use heavy or light ammo, and that is critical when you first drop, to have a weapon that you can just basically be resourceful with. And on top of that, that thing is a laser. If you can control it, you're gonna do some work with that thing. So right now they are currently in a fight, taking it one step at a time, and being smart about how they play that going forward. I'm liking what I'm seeing right here. A little caution. One thing that I always tell players, anybody that's new to this game, is do not, and I repeat, do not think that this is a shoot them once and it's done. This is a wear them down, poke shots, do some damage, try to get somebody good. As you can see right now, beautiful stuff right now. They're clearing it up, perfectly done. And man, oh man, Too Steady is steady rocking the house right now with what they just did there. And again, Too Steady already coming on board with us and doing some really great things, having some serious numbers. They have over 200 points for our standings, and that comes not from one event, but that comes from multiple events adding up. And that's why we tell you guys you can play in multiple events. You can see right now we're going to switch back. It's kind of crazy. We're going to two teams that are staying very busy, and right now getting pushed with the massive shots. Beautiful stuff here from PGR. Again, these guys are doing some work right now. You gotta love what you see from them, staying busy. And you know, we don't always showcase the same team, but these guys are actually super active in this scenario, and they're actually getting third-partied at the moment. And this is a good push right here, and the team third-partying them is actually High Peak, who we haven't seen in a little while. They came in today to get some work done. And I'm liking what I'm seeing by these guys. We know them well. Can PGR survive against High Peak? We'll see. High Peak we've known doing amazing things as well. So this is a battle for the ages. We appreciate everybody coming by and hanging out, and I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. We're gonna chat in a minute. We want to call this action, give you guys something to get excited for. As we can see, PGR just not giving up and holding their own in this scenario for the moment, and everybody's healing up. And this is one of those things, when you give someone too much time to heal, it will really take advantage, and it changes the dynamic of the fight. A grenade going in there. Get one of PGR's players is down. We're looking at High Peak now to see if they can finish this off. All they got to do is kill one last player, and it's pretty much game over. But the last player is a Valkyrie holding the high ground, and it's a one-on-one scenario. The Valkyrie holding off at the moment on the roof, probably healing, all while High Peak, and they're gonna move in right now from below, and High Peak does not know that yet, and he's getting hit from the staircase. A really good slick move there, and Valkyrie just kind of finessing and moving around. Perfectly done here with the Gibby bubble. Now his teammates up. Even if he doesn't survive long, the ability to have a second distraction is very good. Beautiful shots with the Mastiff. Who's gonna take it? And my oh my, High Peak with the third party kill. Great stuff right there from High Peak. Loving what I'm seeing from them. And again, this lobby is just getting warmed up, guys. There's still 13 teams. I repeat, 13 teams in the lobby, and hopefully we'll have our co-host at some point jump in here and say hello. Hey, buddy.
Matt, can you hear me?
How we doing?
Not too bad. Enjoying some of the action. I know I had some technical difficulties, but I'm back.
He is officially here for the first time and back. This is Brendan. And Brendan, we just saw a good third-party scenario. We're going to switch over, actually, and jump on to, I call him Reg, but R3G, whatever you feeling like calling them. These guys right here are popping off a little bit. And this is what I was talking about earlier. One thing that I say, Bren, is that I'm gonna call you B from now on, by the way.
Hey,
B,
call me B.
word. So basically, what I always talk about, and you can give me your opinion, is, you know, Apex is a game of wearing a team down. You can't just rush in there and Superman it. You want to pop some shots, try to take someone's shield off, maybe down one player, and then you make that push. Don't force the issue and try to be a superhero like you see some lower level players who are not as skilled. The top guys you can see right here, for example, he has this charge rifle. He's popping off shots from far. Both of those teams are playing smart. One, they're leveling up their shields. Second, they're making the other team utilize all of their heals and probably their ammo. So that all of a sudden, if you can down a player or two, you can push that easily and win that fight. So these are things that you want to do. As you can see, as I say that, Doom's already leveled up his shield to purple from blue within that conversation of talking about that. and you are actual player for Genesis. So give us your thoughts on the combat in general when you're talking about these type of scenarios, on what to do, when to do it, when to push, when to fall back, type of thing.
I feel like the big thing that teams, exactly kind of what you were saying before, the big thing that teams do is they int. So it's like intentionally go out, try for these kills, and they intentionally die. So it's like you're killing off that team, but you're also killing yourself. But if you look at what R3G is doing, they're making sure that they're leveling up their shields and they're holding a position. This is a great rotation team, and I know like a couple teams, what they'll do is they'll play zone, they'll play edge, but this kind of team is a team who is going to hold down a position. And with the Gibby running that charge rifle, it looks like he's trying to get his team's shields up for the final fight. He's not looking for quick KP right now. He's looking for KP that's going to win him the game. So really smart strategies from R3G.
R3G in the building. Yeah. So, speaking of that, you know, for me as a player specifically, one of my favorite things is the IQ on rotations, and it's a long conversation to kind of have that. We're gonna take a quick look at High Peak, who's currently using Valkyrie, probably the strongest legend in the game, with Gibby.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
and Gibby have been vital for teams being able to rotate with her, and then Gibby's bubble to just survive anything and do anything together. Combination is crazy. And right now they're actually out of the ring with a team right in front of them, and it's about to get real. I love this wingman Peacekeeper. This to me is top tier player status. Okay, single shot fire weapons, and it's basically like, hey, I'm not
Hit your shots.
yeah, I'm not scared. I'm not a rookie. I don't need a freaking LMG. I can go in there and get the job done with high power weapons. And what do you think, you know, is some of the top tier weapon loadouts?
I feel like it changes based on like the legend that you're really gonna play. Like a Gibby is essential to have a Peacekeeper. If you don't have a Peacekeeper Gibby, you're playing Gibby wrong. Like, Gibby needs that shotgun when the bubble fights. They're gonna happen, and when they do happen, a Gibby with a shotgun is gonna be dangerous. So I feel like some of the other legends, like Valk, I could get away with maybe playing an SMG, a car, you know, even a Rampage, go LMG, but definitely utilizing that Peacekeeper on Gibby is crucial.
Yeah, for sure. And I was talking about that with my cousin about practicing with a shotgun. If you're going to be competitive, if you're talking about actual competitive scene, practicing with a shotgun is critical, because those bubble fights, without a shotgun, you're gonna go down. I don't care how good of a player you are, you're gonna lose most fights if you don't have one. And that's why you always see in a competitive scene specifically people rocking some type of shotgun. It was the Eva back when it was broken, but the Eva 8 got nerfed, and now people are using the Mastiff because it's easy to use. Then the top players are rocking the Peacekeeper, because if you hit your shots, you're putting out serious damage, and it's just something special.
Deadly. It's just deadly. And that's why, like, again, the top teams, like you're saying, they are going to bubble fight you. They will throw off that Gibby bub, and they will force all the other teams to not be able to take shots on them, and they'll isolate you. So if you don't have your shotgun in hand, that car close range is not going to be as deadly as that PK to the dome. It's not.
For sure. And I love seeing top players showcase that, and we will end up seeing a lot of bubble fights. Gibby's pretty much 90+ rating, pretty much every comp, unless there's like specific legends that are limited or something. But look at these shots right here that we're watching from High Peak with the wingman trying to down this Valkyrie. Valkyrie surviving 3-man squad somehow. One of High Peaks players is down, so they're gonna have to be careful. And again, that Gibby bubble, man, that revive with the Gibby bubble, too powerful.
Too powerful. He's like I said, he isolates the rest of the team. Oh, and she goes down again. Wraith is down again. He's gonna try to get himself with the wingman peaks over here on a nice head glitch, but he's getting third party from the team from behind him.
Hey, how about no more dying today?
Oh, yep. And this is the fun part of Battle Royale, right? Where you can fight one team and deal with them, and that's the normal multiplayer. But this is the Battle Royale side of things, where anything can happen. The chaos and the most interesting part of it is this chaos here. Are you good enough to survive a third party or a fourth party or a fifth party? Sometimes it does get wild and it can get dangerous. And right now they're going to hold this tree position, hope the two teams fight each other and survive this scenario. Now they got a Valk, so they can try to get out of this if necessary. One thing I love now is that people are getting tired of the Valk ults and everybody's learning how to try to take down a Valk ult ASAP. The full team will focus fire on her and kind of hope to make her drop. And look at this. High Peak flies up without his teammate, and I think this was on purpose, a strategic way to check the map and scout.
Absolutely. It looks like he's looking for some scans. He's trying to find a perfect spot. I notice a lot of teams, what they'll do is they'll all go up and they'll all get lasered down. At least he knows that his Gibby's going to be safe. And he's actually getting... No, he's actually getting fought right on the height. Oh,
that was a beautiful Gibby bubble right there, far away enough so that he can have some room and to move and get behind cover here. Man, survivability right now is looking really good for High Peak. They're down a player. It's not a good look. Multiple teams surrounding them. This is really good stuff from them. But man, the teams that are trying to take them out, and there it is, keeping them busy. You like what you see from the lobby, very active right now. Only 8 teams, round 4 underway still. Looking really good right now. And right now we're watching full send. These guys came out guns blazing. I wouldn't say they're a new team. They played a couple of games already, but you like what you see from these guys. These guys have performed well in the past, so I'm interested to see.
An interesting comp as well. That Gibby is going to be very defensive, but you also have Bangalore with the just blocking line of sight. And then to counter that, you have the Bloodhound scans. So the only trouble I see is hard rotations. How are you going to manage those hard rotations on these final couple rings without the Valk, which we saw unprecedented, actually has a higher pick rate in the ALGs. I think Valk had a 94, 96.
Yeah, 94. I tweeted about it. So here's the thing, though. Let's just all ban Valk and Gibby, and then we'll see how people play.
Honestly, if we throw some tourneys and you put in a specific comp, and you put in maybe a specific don't pick these players, I really am curious on how some of these higher skilled teams would do. That'd be great, having an old school Watson, Pathfinder, Wraith meta.
Yeah, it would be crazy. So I just personally would love that, and I actually might one day do it. We are doing the qualifiers, but maybe throw in an extra event just for fun and see how people perform. Of course, a lot of players will get mad at that because they're focusing on trying to be top players in the world, pro players, and getting their rhythm in with their compositions, but I would definitely love it. And definitely I would ban Gibby and Valk auto. Any meta picks are gone. I'll basically make it non-meta legends only. Anyways, we're looking at full send right now. They're actually very busy. There's a team inside here with a Cossack, and one of those things about Cossack that I love is he's so much trouble. He's the most toxic person to play against because he's just a pain. He's hard to deal with, and right now they're having a good way to keep this position. They gave up that building for some reason. I know they got to rotate.
It looks like the rotation's gonna force them out. Yep.
Get out
Exactly
very early.
Ooh. And then there goes the bubble fight. They're trying to take this, get some free KT, but they're actually gonna lose a guy. They're gonna go down to Giddy. So now we have Ops on the other end, and it looks like it's gonna be down a 1v1, but the whole lobby's shooting at them as well, because again, this is what happens when you play zone. It's just a bad rotation, and MD, TORT, oh man, a lot of letters.
Yeah, that is, I was having a hard time the first time I can't get MD. I just call them MD. Team MD right now are taking over because they did that third party and they got both teams out. And this is the best thing, like I said, Battle Royale, the third partying can really be special when you see it, and fighting against it, that's what tells me if you're good enough to survive. This is a one player situation and he has a team right above him, behind him actually, and then others fighting. So let's move over and watch this lobby. It's actually getting very tight right now at the moment. You got
looks like they
GC.
might have a good spot. Oh, and GC, of course, GC looks like they also have a good spot. They're gonna try to force the team above them off height, and she's just waiting for the perfect time. If you look at what Kyle does, throws the bang ult, and it's gonna force the other team to make a play. Either they're gonna push into them, or they're gonna give up the great height, or they technically could tank the hit and stay up on height.
Yeah, they did tank it. You can see the Gibby bubble right there floating in the sky for that one right there. But there's always another team dropping their ult, so that's the second ult right on top of their heads. And now we're gonna see how this works out. GC has been performing well. They haven't played in a little while, and they're back. And they, ooh, beautiful shots there with the car. Man, he's making that thing look good. And a wingman. Oh, I like that combo.
Oh, and he goes for the shield swap real quick and the res. If he can get this res off, I prefer to res Gibby first because he's got a lot more coverage. He can obviously throw the bub to help protect, but they're still going to make it out and be a full squad. I think the rest of them potentially are rats, and I'm liking where GC's sitting.
Definitely, and it's only 3 teams left, and GC's pretty good where they are right here for a couple. One of the fun parts for me in the end game here is that, yeah, you think you got a god spot until the ring says, nah, not today, sir. And then you have to rotate, figure something out, and work through that. And then that's where you'll see how good you are in adjusting and in-game sense and all of that good stuff. And right now, it's looking like GC's pretty comfortable. They have the dead center of this area, but if there's a team behind where they're looking, and they're going to 100% have a big fight with them. But it looks like both teams are on the right, so they're gonna be okay for a second here. We'll see how long it survives with all these nades coming out.
It looks like the Caustic, there's a solo Caustic that's over to the left, and I think he's just really griefing, but the other team's coming in for a fight.
One of the players about to take this game, guys. We're gonna rotate over and watch their screen. Man, oh man, check it out. They are beaming, and that is it. C2N killing it. You got to give them props right there. And this is actually their last game, guys. Every team can only play 10 events. This is their 10th event, so them getting that first win is very special because they need all the points they can get before this thing ends. And let's just take a quick look. We was watching GC, and they looked like they had a very good position because it was holding the end of the map, but they were in the wide open, just leaking on this wall on the right, which isn't a good look. You know, you want to have some type of cover, you want to have some type of protection, but you know, you can tell that C2N was ready to go. They kept on throwing nades, trying to push and force the team, and the third player was actually a rat. So that's why the third team was a rat team, one player, and that's why, you know, it was just GC, and these thermite grenades really did a good job just kind of suppressing them, pushing them back, and getting them surprised, attacked, because as they focus on the rat on the left, they were getting hit on the right, pushed by C2N, and C2N did their job here, downing one of the players, and then it was a wrap pretty much from that situation. And you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I really liked the patience of C2N. They waited for the perfect like time to go in and push them. The rat, that caustic did a decent amount of damage, and they knew they were taking off some of that life with the thermites, and they picked the perfect time to bubble fight that. Like, that was really impressive.
Definitely. And folks, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Just to remind you how this all works, this is open to the public. You can sign up through our Discord. Just come by and hang out in the Discord, say hello. We have a really positive community. We keep it that way, so we want you to feel welcome there. Come on board. But when you get in the Discord, you'll see events, and they'll have dates, and each event is separate, so you can sign up to the one you are comfortable to play in. Then from there, it's a go for everybody. So just get in there and sign up, and then you can play in 10 different events, and the qualifiers for each of these will be totaled up so you can see the standings in our website, madgamer.com. But the way that works is through placement and eliminations, which I'll showcase in a second with the format. Top teams will make it to the playoffs. We'll get into that a little later. But right now, we're going to go ahead right away, show you them stats, baby. Check out the leaderboards right away. Man, thanks to RST Ghost. Really fast with these stats. On point, doing a good job holding it down. We got C2N, who came in guns blazing. Not only did they get the 12 points for first place, they also got 7 eliminations in that round. So they scored 19 points, which was good. But look who's right next door to them. GC, so many letters. GC at 17, doing some good stuff. Came in second place, and they scored some good kills. MD Potter got 10 points. High Peak with another 10 points. 2 Sturdy with 10 points. So you're looking at the top 5 there, and you can watch the rest of the lobby. They all still have a chance. This is only one game. There's going to be 5 more, and we will see how it all goes from there. But it's looking good at this very moment. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to be starting up the next game in just a second. Check out the leaderboards as we go. We'll be right back. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get game number 2 underway. But before we do, I just want to pause and give a big shout out to Soul Eye Nature. I actually like that name. It's like naughty by nature, but soul by nature. It's kind of dope. Thank you so much for the subscription on Twitch. Understand that is actually supporting the channel, supporting our events, and trying to lift us up. We don't have many players or viewers from our events at the moment supporting it the way you just did, and we need to get all you guys on board, because if we end up getting, if I can get 1,000, man, even like 100 players to subscribe on Twitch, that'll give me a decent amount of money to use as prize money for the players and things like that. So feel free to show support, just like Soul Eye Nature. It's going to take us to that next level. We can get prizes every week, prizes every event, you know, try to take it to that next level. It takes a process to build to that. Now we just YouTube it, we stream it just for fun and for love. We are on Facebook and all these other platforms so people can watch. We get thousands of viewers at times, but it's never been something that I focus on. But now I want to take this to the next level. I'm going to do a sponsorship this week. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of other things that I got going on with my personal brand that I'm gonna bring over to us so that we can keep building for the future. So super grateful and thankful. I appreciate it big time. Nothing but love to you. We're gonna get started with the next game right now. So get ready and get going. Now, before we go, let's show you this leaderboards one more time, and then we'll jump into the next game shortly. We'll be right back officially with the next game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make your predictions in the chat. Show your love. We appreciate everybody with this follows as well. Means a lot to me. Again, we're building the YouTube channel in very soon. It's going to be specifically for our players. We're going to highlight everybody and do some really cool stuff. But, you know, we're getting the ball rolling, trying to get editors. So there's a lot going on with the brand. We want to lift it up to the next level, create a real business with it. When I started this, it was for the passion and love of what I do. Been hosting tournaments for a while. I've been on Twitch studios and YouTube studios for other games in the past, and I've hosted esports a lot for multiple years, over 5-6 years, doing it my own events and going forward. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what, I want to take it serious and make this special, because I love Apex, I love the community, and I think we have something special here. So it's all about you guys, and we have to do it together as a team. So appreciate y'all for that. Without that out of the way, you're gonna go ahead and show some love to the team who put in the work and is #1 overall right now. Big ups to C2N for game number 2, starting up right now. Shout out to them for putting in that work and giving us something fly. And let's give another shout out in the chat before we start this, actually, for the the subscription on Twitch from, I don't even know how to say her name, Jaga __ TV. But that is actually our scorekeeper right now. He actually subscribed as well. So that's special because he's doing an amazing job with the scores. And then now he's actually showing even deeper support. So I got a big message for him. But we got to work on this game right now. It's looking like C2N dropping somewhere. Personally, I've been enjoying to drop. I feel like it's just good, you know. I'm not sure how my co-host feels, but the mill's always been a fun spot to drop, even if it's contested. It always gets interesting in there, and there's always some good loot for me. What do you feel about that, B?
The good thing about mill for me is that you have a good amount of like rotation for next circle. I feel like a mill landing can take you, like we're going south, can take you into some of the nice POIs and take you straight to barometer. And then same thing, it can take you into checkpoint and up towards the north pad. So it depends on where I'm, like where the storm and the circle is pulling. But I love mill just based purely upon rotation. One of my favorite places to land.
Yeah, currently right now, as you can see, they got 2 purple shields. They got a blue shield over there as well. So they're comfortable right now, and now they're just chilling in this area. And the thing with mills for me, which I'm going to do a good job here and give you guys a quick overview. You can see with the map, this is the overview of the map, and actually they're a little bit off of outside of the ring. As you can see, the ring is going to be dead center, a little bit south. But what I'm paying attention to is that the mills can really give you a good rotation down to the cave, where I like to also drop. Those 2 areas right there are nice for me, back and forth. But then it's very close, you know, to these end games, unless the ring ends up in the northeast, and that's where it pulls. As you can tell, this map has a northeast and southwest type of structure. The other sides are kind of cut off. So super interesting on how this map is set up. And talking about the map, we got an update for next week. The new season is a lot to talk about, guys. Incredible stuff coming. The map is going to change big. There's a giant beast. I don't know if you guys seen the trailers, no spoilers here, but a giant beast that gets taken out and killed. But you can actually enter the biggest is so big. Enter in there, get loot, get a lot of stuff. There's also going to be supply drops and a bunch of different things like that are very interesting, and just so many new things being added. Plus rank is changing. We'll probably talk about it after the stream, after these games, or maybe between the games if y'all really want to get into all the changes. Yeah, speaking of that, there's still 20 teams, but teams are getting busy. Let's go ahead and give it a look to see what is going out in the world right now with the drama for your mama, as we get the ball rolling. And we're looking at High Peak currently popping some shots and figuring that they want to make sure they eliminate this team. And look at this, doing a good job. When you see a team drop their bubble like that and you haven't used anything major, it's very good, unless they're gonna Valk ult like that right there and get out of there.
Valk ult.
But you definitely,
High Peak knows that they were gonna push that, and the team that Valk ulted knew that they didn't want any part of that.
Definitely.
And they're gonna
and look at this. Are they chasing them?
They're gonna chase.
Oh my goodness, this is an aggressive, and this is what I love about Valkyrie, that she could be defensive or offensive, and they see a player right in front of them. They can try to push this team, but look at this. There's another. They're walking into 3 teams in this area, and that is a scary thing, because what happens is you pick a fight with one, everybody else might just jump in on the action, and it could cost you big. So see what the type of decisions that they're going to make here
is the IQ of High Peak right there. They could have they pinged out what looked like a straggler, right? They could have dropped on him, and exactly what you said, they could have got third partied, but instead they took the building and they took the positioning, which was the 100% right move to make, and now they're surrounded, but still in a building by themselves, isolated per se. So really good on their part to notice, like, I'm not gonna chase KP. I'm gonna wait for the KP to come to me.
For sure. And that's something actually for anybody that watches me stream Apex. When I play, I solo queue a lot. Just, I don't mean to be a loner, but I just end up solo queuing a lot. And basically, anybody, not all the time, but so many players will have the best position in the game. And they will just jump off of it, leave the high ground, and chase a team, a full team by themselves. And then if they die, they get mad. Bro, come revive me. And I'm like, dude, why did you go all the way down and run away from the team? Come on, man. And
Yeah,
it's a funny conversation
absolutely.
because you're teaching someone, but then they have their ego in the way, and it's a big deal. If you don't have that IQ, it's a thing about respecting the game. It's like you have to respect these situations. You don't know who you're dealing with out there. If they're stacked players that are working together, communicating, you're going to be in trouble regardless of how good you are, because they're probably going to all aim at you the moment you start firing or do anything. So always play smart. And again, we're watching top tier players here, so we don't have to see that. I was just talking about randoms, ranting here about randoms. But speaking of randoms, we're looking at some good IQ here when it comes to visualizing a team, and they're looking for, oh, wait a minute, spoke too soon. Once you see that great scan by Bloodhound, it's going down. One thing I always say about Bloodhound is scan on contact. What I mean by that is that don't waste your scan just because you want to see what's going on out there. Ooh, beautiful shots right here. And High Peak loses a player, down to 2, trying to survive this fight. Oh my goodness, they're down to 1. It's from Peaches. I like this name and I love the fruit. Peaches eliminating High Peak right away.
So just as we were so quick to praise their IQ, this is just one of those hard, taught lessons where you don't know exactly who you're coming up against, and they put themselves in the open, and unfortunately Peaches took advantage of that. They had a good position, they played that little broken piece of wing perfectly, and were able to isolate them. And once you isolate a team, you bubble fight better than they do, you're gonna win it.
For sure. It's super interesting. Like I said, one of those things where they saw a team, they wanted to take advantage of it, but that Bloodhound was also paying attention to what they were doing. And sometimes you just gotta be very careful and not lose the high ground that you have over the KP. And let's be honest, all of us, there isn't one player in the world that hasn't chased the KP, hasn't pushed a team unnecessarily, gave up a good advantage point just to go do something. We've all done it. It's the killer instinct. It's the ego. It's a lot of different things. We can get into the psychological side, but basically, we want to ape. It's fun. Aping
Sometimes
is fun.
It's that confidence that you think that your team's gonna be better, and sometimes they get you at the perfect situation. They played that so situationally sound. Peaches really capitalized on just a simple mistake as getting out in the open, and it looks like they're gonna Valkylt to take a better position.
For sure, and that is a smart move. I'm liking Peaches. What's funny was, before this game, Peaches only had 1 point, right? And now they got 3 kills, and they're looking like they want to get into the ring. I'm not liking where they're going. They're going to be between a rock and a hard place, literally.
Quite literally. and it's unfortunate too, because you don't have that Gibby bubble. You do have some Bangalore smoke to keep the enemies guessing, but it's no hard cover. Everything about this is very, very sketchy, if you will. You need to find
it's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Yeah, but what I do love, and just to talk about this, the ALGS, top players showcasing how Bangalore can be so useful in Storm Point specifically, because there's so much areas where you need to cover ground, and with that smoke, players have been able to really rotate properly and survive scenarios. Excuse me. They need to survive scenarios, and it's been very, very, very critical to switch it up sometimes. And we've seen teams like, and a team that won my heart over for ALGS, a team that I wasn't even thinking of, was Team Empire. Empire never used the meta. I mean, they might have a few times here and there, but they were rocking legends that people would never expect you to use during comp, and doing good. And they got to match point, you know, before the game was won, and it was won pretty fast, by the way. But they got to match point using different legends. But we also saw Bangalore a very high pick in Storm Point because of that one reason, and rightfully so. And she's always been a fun legend. She's always been really good with all her abilities, but these scans and these legends with all these scans that just nullify the smoke, sometimes it's difficult. But let's go ahead and rotate around and take a quick look at Full Send 2.0 here as they prep their step. That charge rifle has always been annoying for me. Anytime I get hit by one, I'm like, why? Because you don't just get shot, okay? You get tased, and then you get shot. And right there, beautiful shots, man. Oh man, talking about shots, he hit some really nice shots there.
Yeah, we have a lot of teams really trying to, and they're spotting another team. They're spotting actually Peaches, and that's the big advantage that they're gonna have, is they're gonna have range, and Peaches is gonna have a little bit of cover. So they're gonna have to, unfortunately, make a rotation eventually into Peaches, or take a hard rotation like some of these teams that are Valkulting around. But unfortunately, they have Wraith as their movement character. So wherever that portal is gonna land is where that team's most likely gonna go.
For sure. And it's gonna be interesting to see how guys play. Again, these maps are learned now, right? Like, there was a point where people didn't want to play Storm Point for tournaments. They actually protested for my events. When the map first came out, I was playing Storm Point only, and players were like, no. And now that ALGS is doing it, now that it's been around long enough, people have figured it out and kind of starting to understand what they could or could not do and how to play in it. And I love that, and I love it. And it's never easy learning something, but it's always the exciting part of taking on that challenge and getting better overall. And right now, Full Send, I like what they're doing, but they got to be careful, because that's where they want to be. Where that team is, they have to get into the ring at some point, and they don't have a Valkyrie to get them out of there. This composition is a bit strange, if we can be honest here, with the Seer as one of their players, and it's always good to have a scout regardless. But if you don't have a Valk, a Bloodhound, you know, these are questions you start asking outside of the meta. And I'm one of those guys that always encourages outside of the meta. Like I said, Team Empire was incredible for the playoffs, and they showcased that you can do it. But I also tweeted about it, and they actually shouted me out on the stream. Fallout himself was told by Respawn to read my tweet, which was talking about not calling it a gimmick. They were calling it a gimmick for Empire using off-meta legends, and I said no, it's not. It's actually brave, and I really truly believe that it's very brave for a team to go against the grain, you know. And I'm not saying that it's the right thing, because if you have a bazooka, everybody's using bazookas, and you pull out a knife in the situation, you might not succeed. But you know, that's a whole different conversation. But anyway, let's keep it into the action right now. That is a topic that I want to hear from the chat. How do you guys feel about the meta changing and maybe seeing some different things? What would you want to see, is the question to change.
Oh, they're getting
Personally,
landed on right now. They're getting landed on. They throw a Gibby ult, and it seems like they're trying to get this team off of them. And they're going to take the low ground, which normally isn't a great call, but it looks
oh
like
my
it's
goodness, the
working.
damage he did on that thing right
Dropping
there, dude. Like
And
300
they are
damage.
really one-shot. And this is the great thing about having a seer. They were able to see how damaged that team was and was able to capitalize on some good KP so they can get those kills finished off.
Man,
It
this
looks
is
like
looking like an end game ring. Speaking of that, there's so many teams in this area. It's wild. We're only on the 4th ring, and look at all this going on right now. You love it. And right now,
down to the
MD
last
trying to
player.
finish off that third-party push that they're getting into right now. Doing a good job with it. They did just get hit with a Gibby bombardment. They got to be careful.
Bogey in sight.
I'm liking what they're doing. They're super aggressive. They went and they got some kills there. And not being aggressive on this part here, holding this for a moment, seeing what they need to do. But you gotta love it.
Evo shield here. Level 3.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get a little bit of a better position. They have some decent KP, and that's their main focus is to just get a little bit of KP, get towards the next ring, and survive, because there are a lot of teams around, and they're getting a couple wingman shots off. And they got a down. Stride gets a down off of Phantom. It looks like they're really starting to push this.
Yeah, you gotta love it. In my view here with MD right here, wanting that KP, they're not just rushing to rotate. They want that KP, and it's gonna help in the long run. Score as much points as you can. There's only 6 teams left also, so they have a little bit of real estate to play with. 5th round just getting underway in a second here, so you gotta love it. Let's take a look at Team Reg, I call them R3G. They also right next door, and it looks like they're gonna want to make a push as well, because they do not have a good cover at the moment to be in the ring. They're like on the edge of nowhere, and they're about to try to get deeper in as the ring closes. We're gonna see their play and decision making in this scenario.
And it looks like they're just trying to gatekeep. They need to get a little bit further in. That's why they throw the bubble, and they throw their bombardment on the team above them. I believe that's still MD. It just doesn't. This might be playable. This might be. They're scouting out. They see some teams. They use the Valk tactical. It looks like just to kind of get them some space, but they are getting shot from above still.
Yeah, and you like this position for the moment because they're close enough to the ring. They're gonna let other teams fight, which we're gonna watch right now, and just check in on the teams in the middle of it. MD popping off shots, getting hit down to their last player. Nobody's came in last week and went crazy, and they're coming back looking probably the same right now, doing some work at the moment. Nobody's.
That's a really good spot.
Yep, and remember this, just the last game alone, nobody's had 0 points.
Scan this area.
And now these guys have 16 kills. I'm not lying to you, 16. Let's pay attention to them and watch what they're doing.
Each one of them has 7 kills, 6 kills. Like, it's insane. These guys are popping shots off with the flat line. It looks like they have the Ranger on the flat line, just taking a good amount of pop shots to keep the teams at bay. And like you said earlier, utilizing the shots to get the teams low on resources. If they're low on heals, if they're low on shielding, it's going to be to their advantage ultimately. Looks like Dame is just really holding everyone off. And they're also getting down. Shots coming in from both angles, and if they hold this is the god, what we call the god spot. This is it.
There it is, God spot. We got to find a lot of different terminologies, but that's what we're going to call it from now on. And And the reason I call the organization Court Battle League is because, you know, you're king of the court is the motto, and everything is kind of a battle for the best of the best, whatever game it is. And right now they have that king of the hill type of scenario. But the problem is getting the best spot or getting to the top is easy. Keeping
Right.
it is the hard part.
Right. It's one of those positions where it's like everyone wants that spot, so your gun skill better be good. If you don't have good gun skill, someone can easily ape you, and they can take over the god spot. This is actually a very, very difficult thing to do, to hold this, because, like I said, all the teams want that spot, so they're gonna hit you from all different angles.
Definitely. And right now they're very comfortable. We're going to end up seeing the other two teams going at it in this scenario. As the ring closes, there's nowhere to go. This is it right here. So you're going to end up seeing some action. Let's take a look at the overview for a moment so you can know what is happening over here, guys. Pretty simple. There's only 3 teams left, and it's Nobody's, PGR, and Team Reg. Okay. In the center, that right there is Team Nobody's, and they are the ones holding the best position because the ring will close off on the rest of the teams. But having that great position means you have to defend yourself from probably both teams, and they have to make a decision on who they're going to try to take out. And there it goes right here. Let's go ahead and watch the action as it happens. Team Nobody, amazing stuff, eliminating one of the teams, and they're pretty much comfy in this scenario, with the last team about to go ahead and push them. And here it is, shots rained off at the flat line. Solid stuff with that best assault rifle in the game, in my opinion. And right now Nobody's looking real good, but they have to be careful. Down to their last player. PGR getting it done, coming in for the win.
And exactly what we were talking about. It's so hard to keep that god spot, even if you have it. A team can push from underneath and still take it out. I noticed the Valk played that perfectly. She rotated around and created an angle that really set Nobody's back to the lobby.
Definitely, definitely. And we're looking at this overview again, having that god spot. You have 2 other teams knowing you have it, knowing that their ring is going to close on them, feeling the pressure, what to do, where to go, and how this is going to work out. And then all of a sudden, you see the action from Nobody down, eliminating R3G. And now it's just a 1-on-1 PGR versus Nobody's. And Nobody's went crazy. So even coming in second place, it's going to have them at a very, very high number. But you love what you saw from PGR in this scenario where they were in the disadvantage, right? You thought they were going to lose this, but they ended up downing one of the players, or downing 2 of the players here, and then cleaning it up. And it was that Valk, very sneaky attack, and she came in and got the job done, and that's how you do it. PGR.
It was that quick distraction for me. That really set the tone, because a lot of teams, they'll 3-stack, they'll triple stack you. They will charge all in a straight line, and every one of them will have their bullets on you. But they were confident enough to send 2 people up and use that flanker to get the Gibby to turn and got hit. That was it for me.
Yeah, for sure. Great stuff. Great stuff by all the teams. I mean, we having a great one right now. So far, 2 dope games. I have an awesome co-host in Brendan, aka Mr. B. We got to get your plug in at the end of the event. Don't worry. But besides, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate the support on the social medias and everybody coming in and talking about it. I was talking earlier, I was trying to see some feedback on what you guys think about the changes that need to happen for Legends. 2 of them that I'll throw out there is Gibby Bubble having a longer time, cooldown time, as well as Valk's Ultimate having a longer cooldown time. Is my two just random ones that I throw out there as an easy way to nerf them a bit so that people can't just abuse those abilities consistently and only have them when they really need it, and it can't just be spammed. But that's just a side note. Besides that, hope everybody is enjoying this. We do have the stats. We're going to show them to you now and discuss it here and see what we're feeling or thinking. At the moment, PGR came out of nowhere. Well, not anywhere. They came in perfectly and got the job done. They're up 2 points to Team Nobody. Nobody went crazy in that last game, and I mean crazy. And you're looking at them in second place. They didn't have any points on the first game. Somehow, some way dominated and ended up taking it to that next level.
Now, quick observation here. This is the difference between first and second place. If you notice, they have 30 points from PGR and 28 points from Nobodies. Think about if the score flipped and they actually got first place. That's an additional 3 points plus the additional 3 kills that they would have gotten from eliminating the squads. So that's a 12-point swing. 6 points for you going in your direction and 6 points coming from their direction. So just really being like, yes, absolutely second place. Like, they deserved it. They came from having 1 point to 28. But those critical little differences from first and second might be, it's only game 2, but it might be the difference later on in the series.
For sure. And it was a really, really solid performance for everybody, because guess what? We had some guys come in and surprise us, and that's what you like to see. So for me, you're looking at the numbers, you're looking at teams like Nobodies who had 0 points and then came back. And then you looking at teams like C2N, who's still right there in the top 3. They were number 1 in the first game. And in the second game, they've stayed relevant. Sometimes a team will get a big win and then all of a sudden drop off, but they are still in the mix. Of course, GC in 4th place with 22, and MD, the team that we don't want to pronounce their full name. Sorry about that, guys. MD Potter with 21 points. That's the top 5 teams right now. The rest of the lobby, again, they can still come back just like we saw Nobodies do in one game, dominating and making it work. So pretty cool. We're literally seconds away from the start. We hope you guys are enjoying it. We are going to be starting the next game in just a second, so stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started with game number 2. Once again, we appreciate y'all commentating in the chat, just kind of engaging with each other, also interacting with us. Game number 3 is about to be underway. Remember, we're live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, like literally all over the place. So there's a bunch of different communities watching, but we definitely would prefer everyone to be on Twitch. That would be amazing, because then we'll get tons of views. It'll put us on the top of Twitch, which will get us even more newer viewers, which can take us to the next level. And like I said, if we end up getting a lot of subs and things like that, all of that money will go to prizes so that we can legitimately bring this to that next level. But it's on you guys, so show some love. Let's get it. With all that out of the way, game number 3 is about to start again in Storm Point. This is the last Storm Point match, so teams that are really good at Storm Point, now's their chance to step it up. We've seen some cool stuff from teams that 0 points, then coming in and dominating, and hopefully we see more of that. I love to see that, and it's fun and interesting. And we're gonna check out some other teams, see what everybody's doing in the lobby. There's plenty of teams in here that are amazing. Sometimes it's not so easy in battle royale games. You drop in the wrong area, there's 2 teams pushing you. For some reason they don't see each other, they only see you. That's how it feels sometimes. And it can get crazy. But then also there are moments where you just feel it and you're into it and your team is flowing and it's special. And you know, we get to spectate all that and see it with our own eyes. So that's what we're about to do at this very moment. Check out some teams and see what's going down. And I want to highlight this team for a second here, as a matter of fact. And we gotta talk about this type of thing. You know, a player who's never played in our events comes on and signs up today. Then they subscribe as I go live for this event to my channel. And that basically tells me that they're here for the love and support to build this community up. And it means a lot. So I'm just taking a moment here for Team Sin, checking them out, dropping. What do they got going on? We'll find out in a minute. And props to them for showing love and support. Their team captain being a good sport there. And speaking of good sport, in our kill feed, PGR, oh my goodness, getting eliminated the very first 30 seconds. We didn't even get to introduce this whole thing.
Yeah,
And
good
man,
guys
oh,
fought them in Antenna. It was one of those matches where you're going to contest, and some people call it a contest, some people call it a 50-50, but the guys with guns got the KP out of it ultimately.
yeah, for sure. And some people that are complainers call it griefing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that. I heard a lot about we need to call drop spots, and like at the end of the day, if you aren't like confident with your gun skill, well, you might not win a 50-50, and you might want to pull off.
Right. I agree, but as a host, I love when people call their spots, in the sense of we get higher quality games. So in the end game, there's more teams alive, and then plus teams are geared up and they're prepped for fights. So it's really awesome. The problem with that is that I can't, as a host, control teams and players. So they have to figure it out on their own, and they have to work on it and make decisions if they want to do it or not. And my scariness behind it is, if I was to try to make it a thing, then teams can get bullied in or out of calling specific spots, and it's like, no, you can feel free to do whatever you want.
They want to go. Yeah.
You do what you want. And if you respect a team and you're like, hey, go ahead, you take that spot, I got this one over here, cool. But if you end up saying, you know what, we're not doing so hot, we need some KP, let's drop on somebody, then hey, go for yours. So that's where, as an organizer, I do never want to dictate what players do or don't do in the lobby. That's just something to keep in mind for me as the host. how I play it. But with all that out of the way, man, we are going to see what's going on with these teams, and we gave Team Sin some shine here, appreciating the support with the sub. Really means a lot. And speaking of subbing and things like that, one of the Raven clans also sub. We don't have a lot of players that have subbed to my events. We actually, because I never put it out there, but I've been trying to lately make it a part of my commentary. And one of Team Ravens players also subscribed. So shout out to Itachi, who's currently not playing in this team, but definitely appreciate that. And right now we're just rotating around, checking on teams, seeing what they got going on, and taking it one step at a time. Let's go ahead and rotate over here and see an activity, which we're gonna have a new activity coming up shortly. We're looking at GC, and there's smart loot, guys. What does smart loot means? Basically, if you have a blue mag and you kill some of these creatures, they'll drop a purple one for you, and they'll continue to give you higher tier loot as you go. So it's very call it smart loot, but it's really just special like that. And the new update, there's going to be drop pods where you can go in and do the same type of activity, but against, I don't know if people know what Titanfall is, but specters. These are robots, kind of like Pathfinder, and you're going to be fighting them, and you can get smart loot in there as well. The cool part about this is that it closes when you go in and you activate the it's like trials. You activate it, it'll close it off, and no one can go in until you're done. And when you're done, you can go out just like a jump tower, or you can have the doors open and go out the regular way. So it's pretty cool. No third partying in those farming for attachments and stuff like that. And you know, we don't know all the details yet, but you can go to Apex Legends and see for yourself, so you can know what that new update is going to be. And enough talk, guys. Hold on a second. Let me be quiet.
Looks like MD's getting in a fight right now.
Yes, they are. And we're looking at them break through the door, getting shot from behind. Surprise attack. Oh my goodness. Them Peacekeeper shots were amazing. And swapping his shield, very important during these fights. And MP doing a good job. They get third party, folks.
The shots are raining down from the top. It looks like GC has made their way over there, and that's Kyle. He's a very aggressive player, so it looks like this Caustic is going to try to get the res, but I don't see them surviving much longer if they don't be stabilized right now. Looks like GC's already bubble pushing from below, but these nades are perfect, keeping them out. So Caustic teams are very hard to push into, but GC's going to be up for the challenge, and there he goes, downing 2 of them.
Yeah, incredible stuff here, and you love that third party timing on this situation, and good stuff here. Oh my goodness, look at this. Is he gonna MVP this right now or not? And no, he doesn't. And MD gets taken out by GC with the third party perfect timing to jump in and not give them enough time to get it right, and that is perfectly done by them. And I love what I'm seeing by GC. They're still in the top of the bracket. They didn't have the best game on that last one, but they're in 5th place before this game. So that just means, hey, we got a rhythm. Let's keep it rolling and stay in that flow. So we'll see how they'll play. Sometimes teams get up high and then they start working on placement only and they play it safe. Other teams get very confident when they're doing well, and they'll just continue to dominate. And it looks like they're going to do something that I always talked about since the beginning of Apex, is getting those shields out of these death boxes, so that if you do get into a fight, you can swap quickly. And I love it. I love it. Small little details that a lot of average players do not pay attention to and don't care for. But right now, GC's actually gearing up. It looks like they're already in a fight with another team, and they're about to get aggressive with it. We're gonna see how that one plays out for them, and it's actually the Raven Reapers right next door to them, so they're gonna have to be careful on how they play this going forward.
And now imagine them fighting MD, and MD had those shield swaps ready because they had just killed off the team. So imagine MD on the inside being able to utilize those shield swaps. It'd be a different fight. So just like you said, the difference in timing caused GC to come out with a win rather than giving up some free KP. And it looks like they're just going to go loot and try to get better positioning because this is a mill landing. This is a mill closing.
Yeah, for sure. And it was just one of those things again that I'll also talk about is, hey man, they picked a couple shots at the team that was coming and they like, nah, let's not fight this. Let's just get into the ring and work on our rotation for the moment. And it's a smart move. Maybe they would have lost that fight and it would have cost them. Instead of just taking every fight, it's like, hey, let's rotate and get into the ring, get a good position, then do our job there. Don't force it.
And if you notice, they're getting surrounded right now. They had a Valk squad land on them, and it looks like another squad's around that bend. They are trying to make their way and deciding which way they want to go. It looks like Kyle's really scouting ahead and deciding which way he wants to take his team. It looks like, if I had to make a guess, he'd probably be their IGL, or at least one of their entry fraggers. So it looks like he's making the smart call and just playing that rotation instead of taking fights where he will get third parties.
Good stuff by them. They're being smart about their positioning and grounds. We're gonna rotate around and watch Too Steady. How steady could they be? They're in 8th place for 10 points and they're down to their last player. Can they do it? And he got an Eva, man. Old school shotgun. That's what I call it. And there it is. They get eliminated. And nobody, again, trying to frag out, man. These guys are incredible. And they got 3 kills already. And now they're looking to do some more work as they go. Chasing down a player who's going to try to get out of this. And I love these launch pads. They're really, really cool for the game as far as giving us some other ways to rotate outside of always having a Valkyrie. Good stuff by nobody there, cleaning up, and they get all the loot. And this is a good position to be in too, because they're deep in the ring currently.
Yeah, this is a perfect spot. This is exactly where they want to be for endgame. We'll see where the ring might pull, but this is one of those spots where it's hard for anyone to take your back. If you take one of these spots right here, it looks like you're gonna have teams pulling towards you, which will be great. You know, the rings have a funny way of working, and sometimes they don't pull in your direction. But at least they know that it's gonna be hard for a team to take their back. And just let I say that, it looks like a team's flying in from their back. But they are doing great with those shots and shooting them actually out of the air. Great damage is being put out. But they just want to hold this building. I don't think they want to do anything too crazy that's going to get them into any sort of danger, because this is like a winning spot for them.
For sure. And for me, you know, watching nobody here, trying to stay busy in this scenario, each of their players, you know, popping some shots. This guy's on the roof right now. Mr. Stir getting some shots in on GC right next door to them. And this is one of those things, if we're gonna be neighbors, I'm gonna make you pay the price for that. And
good noisy neighbor. Oh yeah, it looks like it. Like, the big thing about them doing this is they're showing presence. We say this with like a lot of different squads I've played on. You want to make sometimes your presence known so that other teams don't come and try to bully that spot away from you. If they know you're active, some of the other teams maybe they're down to their solo rat. maybe they're down to a duo, and they won't try to take over that spot and intentionally grief you.
Yep, 100%. And it's a critical part of the game to show that confidence and then that dominance in those positions. Because like we were talking about, we saw it actually. Team holding the God spot got beat out of it, and it happens often. Teams want that spot, and they're gonna fight you for it. And if they can get you weak enough, some people will crack a shield and he's one shot, let's push, and then all of a sudden a team pushes in that scenario and you're in trouble. And speaking of in trouble, let's take a quick look and watch Team Bread down a player and in a tough spot here with multiple teams being able to hit them, and one of them is Nobodies that we were watching. And Team Bread currently trying to figure it out for themselves and work through the process. Again, in 16th place overall for today's lobby, down a player. And this is those situations where is your focus revive a teammate if you don't have a respawn beacon, which they do. Look at this mobile respawn beacon coming in clutch, perfectly done for them. But if you didn't have that, it's a tough call, because most of the time those respawn beacons are in good areas where you can get up on, you know, a roof or something like that. They're not out away from the action. So right now they're getting lucky with that mobile respawn. Hopefully their teammate can revive and get themselves some weapons, and maybe, you never know, see them in the last ring here for the finale. There's only 11 teams left, and round 3 is about to end right now.
Now the good thing is his death box is really close, so he's waiting for that Gibby bub, and it goes down, so he's able to loot it without really having to worry about a team coming and killing him while he's in the death box. But the problem is the other teams are going to try to go for him. Exactly what's happening now. Other teams are going to try to go for him because they know once that Gibby bubble goes down, they're slim picking. And he's getting res, and this is perfect. The Caustic is the one who's trying to hold it off while the Gibby reses. They have perfect gameplay on that. They just have to make sure that they're not going to get third parties from a team.
Yeah, very lucky in that situation that they didn't get third party. You know, teams, when they see that respawn ship, they're coming to chase you down. I know I do it all the time when I play. Like, there's a ship, let's go get them. Free kill. And it's always fun. But good stuff by them, and we'll come back to them. Hopefully, you know, they'll stay alive long enough that we can check on them and see what's going down. For now, we're rotating around, and we're gonna look to see what teams are currently busy. And this is that moment, right, where it's like the 4th round, teams are wanting to win it now. They realize, hey, we can win this. GC at the end right here, trying to choke a team off at the edge, and we're gonna see how they're trying to play this. They're gonna push this team literally at the edge of the map, and it looks like it's a rat actually, so it's not much trouble for a 1-on-3 with a team like GC.
Team Sin is trying to get out, and they didn't. They got eliminated right out of the air. There goes the Valk. That's the hard part about being a Valk main, is when you're flying up in the air, it's pretty much an easy shot for a team. And there's another group that's coming out of the smoke. It looks like there was just it was filled with rats. Full Sen boys were also eliminated.
Infestation.
It was
man,
an
oh man.
infestation.
GC doing a good job exterminating all
We're
the
gonna
rats.
call them the exterminators.
For sure, man. That was pretty good, pretty good. And those are the greatness in some teams that can smell that, and all of a sudden they scored a lot of points there from that situation. And that's why, like, Bloodhound, you know, and scanning legends are really good, because those rats are kind of sneaky sometimes. You know, we find those little crevices and we'll get deep into them and then hold those positions when you're a rat and you want to try to score as much as you can. But again, GC with 8 kills, sitting comfortable right now. Also one of the last 8 teams, so they doing well. Now they got to rotate into this situation. This is where your IQ come into play. Are they going to use Wraith and try to portal into a safe spot? You know, sometimes honestly a safe spot is the craziness of seeing a team in a building and just going right to the side of the building and under it, you know, something close to it. She's about a portal. Exactly
There
what
she
I'm
goes.
saying. I believe she'll do for her team, bring them right into the building area
He's gonna play
and pretty
underneath.
much force them into this fight or keeping this position. And look at this. Shots raining off. They have a Valk all alone in this corner and she gets down. Man, they're just getting every rat. These guys really are the exterminators right now.
Down goes good guys with guns. And it looked like that was the perfect play, and I think it was all called out by Kyle. As I was looking at his perspective, he was pinging every different spot to see which ones were the most viable, and it looked like the Wraith had that decision to portal underneath. So really good, and it looks like R3G is really trying to hold off here. We have a down player, but I think they might be able to wait for another Gibby bub if they have time and try to get that res. And there they go. Exactly. And he comes in and he's fighting in the bub. Who's gonna win? It looks like a 44 hit off of that massive shot, and that's the difference in my opinion, like we talked about earlier, between the PK and the massive. The massive will hit consistent damage, where that PK might have actually hit for more. It looks like they dropped 2 players. And they're getting shot from every direction.
Every direction, but this is another good teammate situation right here when you're down.
Yes.
Pull up that shield, baby. I need it. Thank you.
There's a purple knockdown. Please help. Look in every direction, which they're covering both angles. And if it were me, I would focus on picking the Gibby first. It would really do a lot of help to have that Gibby bub very shortly.
Definitely, definitely. If they can survive this, that would be insane. And this looks like a hot mess, and apologies, guys. Might have to turn this into a third-person view so we can get a better view of it. And there it is. He has no more cover. This is it right here.
And
have
the
to swap
smart
the
move is
shield.
to go for the shield swap. This is it. This is the smart move. Hold off. Pretend that you're all down, and just get all the shield swaps that you can get.
Surviving somehow because there was a third-party fight right next door. We're watching GC currently in a battle while this rat is hiding out in this corner, and they keep fighting the rats, guys. I'm telling you, look at this. Another rat found.
That's it. They don't even hesitate, but the rat takes them out. The exterminators are getting taken out by the rats.
When the flips,
And now another team is
pushes.
about the third party. And that
Beautiful's
might
third party right there. GC going down, Raven going down to the 2 teams. It's happening right now. Team Red about to clean it up. Can they do it is the question. Remember, they only had 1 player. They got their teammates up, and now they're in the last ring. Just like I said, it possibilities, and it happened.
It's a tough fight against nobodies. Nobodies have gold shields, and they're looking like this. They have 3 teammates up. It's going to be a 3-on-2.
Definitely, and this is going to be insane for
right?
them. They've been killing it this round, and now they're going to close it out with a bang. Bang, 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 folks. And again, as I said, guys are on fire. 13 kills and the win on that 1 game right there. So top
And that's the most
tier
important part.
stuff.
They securing those 12 points for the dub. That's going to be the difference again between first and second. It looks like they're most likely going to reclaim that first spot again.
Yep, and we're watching a replay real quickly here for you guys so you can see what was going on, and I liked what I saw from Team Bread, just the resilience from early on when they were down 2 players. They revived them, and now they make it to the final ring. But man, it was not easy against a team who's pretty much on fire right now.
What I was most impressed by was mid-fight, the shield swaps. And I think he did it a couple different times, but these ones that he was trying to shield swap it was like half broken. So he really tried to get a better shield swap, and that might have been the difference between going down right there, getting 1 clip by Dame, and then the finishing shots so that nobody became somebody.
Nobody becoming somebody, and these guys performed well last time. This isn't new. It might be new to us, but they last week they came in for the first time ever, went crazy, and today they're doing it all over again. So thank you guys for watching live coverage of the Core Battle League. It's a community thing, man. We have a player commentating. He's doing an amazing job. I think he should get hired. We got to get him a full time here from us, but also from one of the big time studios, if anything. Good stuff so far by Mr. B. We're gonna call you.
You can call me Mr. B. You can call me Brendang. You can call me Covert Ops. Whatever you want.
I'm gonna say some bad words. No. But anyways, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. We're having some fun right now with these teams putting in some work. I like to watch this because it also reminds me to stop being casual. Sometimes we'll get on a game, whatever game it is. If we're not playing competitively, we're laying on the sofa, just laying back, kind of kicking it. And we don't put in that effort. We don't put in those very detailed situations. And you'll see these players do it. They'll do the little things that make the difference for their team. And those are what you want out of top players and top teams and so on. So it's pretty sick to watch. I love that part about this. And again, I'm showcasing the overview for the qualifiers. Everybody always asks, every day I get the question, what are the qualifiers? How does it work? It's pretty simple, man. Go to the Discord, sign up for whatever event you want. Look at the dates, see if your team can play that day. Read all the information there. It tells you everything. Then you can play in 10 of them. Sign up for 10 of them if you want. Get as much points as you can through placement eliminations, and then the top teams make it into the playoffs. It's pretty simple. We're going to spend the whole month of May doing qualifiers. I want to give everybody all the time they need. So pretty much 2 events or 3 or 4 a week. If we got enough teams and enough players involved, we will gladly run it for you guys. Okay. So stay with it, get going. But enough of that, man. Let's talk about these stats. All right. Sitting pretty at number 1. It's Team Nobody. Nobodies. Who are they? And I like Team Nobodies. It's a thing from New York. Carmelo Anthony and company. Team Nobodies, the brand. I'm not sure that they're working with them, but the mentality is, you know, you don't have to try to think you're special when you are special. So that's why you call yourself a nobody. And that's, I'm not saying this team is thinking that way or feeling that way, because again, this is more of a basketball player, Carmelo Anthony, who represents that brand. But yeah, there's that. But right below them, GC down almost 20 points there. Okay, that's a tough one. So in this type of situation, you know, everybody's down from the number 1 spot. You probably can't take that number 1 spot without having a big game. Do you really want to have a big game and go crazy, or are you going to play it safe and do what you normally do? Those are the questions. And what do you feel about that, B? What is your thoughts and plans, and what would you do?
It's a double-edged sword. For me, it's like you have to have that confidence to go out there and have a big game, but not being overly confident where you're going to take take fights that aren't the smartest, because you're going to put yourself, like we said before, back to the lobby with 0 KP. So we have to figure like that happy medium. And it's one of those things where you have to have a strong IGL to really, really solidify your group and just play to your strengths. Don't try to go out there and be a nobodies or be a GC if you can't really back it up. But like, you need to make sure that you play within your team's strengths and really highlight your players, because the KP will come.
For sure. It's an interesting factor. And again, there's no wrong decision. I always talk about like the in-game leaders, and yes, they'll make the best calls, not all the time, but you have to believe in whatever call they make. So as a team, if they say push, you push. If they talking about, hey, fall back, you know, fall back. It's
Absolutely.
really all about
About
believing in your team and not what would I say, second guessing in the moment. Now we can talk about it after. We can also talk about it if the situation is not like a critical moment when it's not like the last second there. But in the middle of the situation, when you see someone's like, hey, we're gonna go, let's do this, or and someone uses their ultimate or they use their ability and your leader's like, let's go for it, you got to go for it. So right now what I'm saying is, with these leaderboards, you're looking at it, maybe you're second, third, fourth, fifth, or maybe you're even in the bottom half of this scenario. Whatever decision you make, try to get better and improve is my thing, and score as much points as you want because you're going to need it for these events. But also just do what your team is best for, like the best way you perform. Don't step out of your box. If you're a defensive team and you have a Watson or you have a Caustic, don't go out there trying to ape like crazy. Play your role. That's what I would suggest. So we're about to get started in game number 4, and it's pretty cool because we're going into World's Edge. We're going to take a quick second here right before we start and get this ball rolling. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be right back in just a minute. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's game time. Game number 4. Apologies for the delay. There's always a player or a team who might not be as professional as the rest, since you know, we allow anyone to enter. Sometimes there are people who have to hold their hands and feed them through a bottle and make sure they have their pacifier and their bibs and yeah, and their diapers.
Unfortunately,
I mean?
that was time. I'm sorry, Mag.
So
But
we're
now that
going into game number
my
4. Here's
ready.
the question for everybody in the chat and for B in a second is we're going to game number 4. You played 3, you felt out what these teams can do. You've seen the comp, right? Like, so now you kind of feel what it is. Maybe you're like, I'm overwhelmed, or maybe you're like, I got this, I'm the best, or you're somewhere in the middle. Now, what is the game plan for the teams on the bottom half? Because we know what the top teams are doing. We know that they're performing well. They're scoring good. They're in double digits. They're pretty good. But for the teams in the second half, if you've been there before, what is your mindset? If you can just give us your thoughts going into game number 2, and then also on the opposite side, if you're hot, what is the thoughts? So go ahead and take over for the next couple minutes. It's your show.
So game 4 is the make or break game for me. I feel like game 4 has a new map that comes out. Like, you change the map, so we go to World's Edge. But trying something new. If you're in the bottom half, try something new. Try something that you might not normally do in comp, to try to see if some spark can be made. Because sometimes it's just like a small little change might be the catalyst to something big. It might be, again, a change of how we play. We're going to play a little bit more zone, or we're going to play a little bit more edge. Like, whatever you decide to do, try something different. On the other hand, if you're a team in the top, continue. Stay the course. They say if it's not broken, don't fix it. It's the exact same thing in Apex Legends. Like, do what is working, because in the long run, what's working is the reason why you're getting points and why you're in first or 10th. 10th is still a good position to be in at this point. So just stay the course. But yeah, it looks like some of these teams are just really wanting to really just showcase how good they are, and that's what we really want to see. It looks like there's a fight right now going on between Bent.
We can cruise over
See
here.
who they're going up against here.
Team Bent, we haven't talked about today. They're in 17th place, but currently a little bit busy. They lost a player. And one of those things, when you lose a player, you know, your momentum feels out of it and it changes the whole game. Now it's a survival. As you can see, another one of their players goes down, and it's a survival game. It turns into a shooter and a battle royale, and then all of a sudden you're just there to survive and get through it. Now he's down an extra player, so it can be really, really rough and tough on some guys. But we're gonna take a quick look and give a shout out here to Team Bread, who made it into the top 10 from that last game. They were pretty bad down and out, and then now they're in the top 10 because of that last game, surviving, making it so far. They're currently seeing a team across the way. This is one of those things, like I was talking about earlier. You have a good position, don't just drop and give it up unless you know you can take care of business, which they're trying to do right here. They down one of the players, and Honto is getting hit pretty hard. We're gonna go ahead and, again, the wingman shots looking real good right now on this team right here. Solid stuff. A Team Bread in the building.
And this is not a slouch team. They're going up against GC, which we've seen consistently be on top 5. And there they go. They down the race. That's Yuzu. And again, this is showing that anyone can win off of a 50-50. This is why teams, again, can say we do like contesting, we don't like contesting, because you can take out some of the top teams early when they don't have the right shield, they don't have purple, and they don't have blues. If they're rocking white shields and you have a blue or a purple, you might catch them on an upper hand.
Definitely possible.
I like what they're doing.
Rotate around and check in on a team just trying to survive here in that situation. He's looking to get his banner, but the question is, did they leave these banners alone already? Sometimes I like camping. I'm petty like that when it comes to the banners. If I take your team out, I'm not going to allow you to pick them back up. Right now, he picked up one of his players, and this is good enough to win the game. I'm sorry to break the news. Don't think you're out of it, because you could two-man a third-party situation on the final ring. And oh my goodness, he's about to get spotted. And they caught him.
They know. They absolutely know. That's how it works. Sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes, as the rat, you get spotted. And you saw them taking out rats, and now they became the rat, and they got taken out. So Team Bread's really showing what they're working with today, and they are the kill leaders at the current moment with 3 kills.
Yeah, you gotta love it right now. Bread and Nobody's both have 3 kills.
Let's explore this way.
But there is some action going on. We're gonna go and check it out right now. Peach is in the building.
Your favorite. Peach is gonna see what they can do. It looks like they're just trying to hold down this building real quick while one of their teammates went down. It looks like the Bangalore went down. We got some teams with the Bloodhounds. They're gonna scan it up, and we're gonna see if this is gonna be a classic Bloodhound. First Bloodhounds match. We're gonna see who this is on the other end here. Looks like Peaches is going to be just content with camping this building. Sometimes that's what you have to do, being patient and not overextending, because a lot of teams will try to get banners, they'll try to do something which will put them into a disadvantage. But sometimes it might just be a lost cause, and you know the other team, like Mag said, is going to camp the banners, but it looks like they're going to try. And that's what we call the ride or die. We're going to see if the ride or dies can go get the banners and recover their fallen friends. And the good thing about having this Bloodhound is seeing how far away and if the team is actually camping the banner. And they were able to get it, so looks like they're just about to go out and rotate. If it was me, I would probably go outside and just Valcolt. Probably be the best play, but it looks like they're going to take this on foot. And he noticed that there were some tracks that were going up, and he does not want to contest that. So probably going to take this respawn beacon right here and see if he can get some... no, but there's also a team up on height. I think their best play would be to be very, very patient, or go up to No Name and enter No Name and try to make a res there. It's one or the other. Like, they have to make sure that they're not overextending themselves at this point, because you are a duo, and a lot of the other teams are still full. They still have a full 3. So it looks like they're going to be pretty safe, though. And I hope I don't Caster's Curse them. They see the Caustic Trap on the right, so it looks like they are wide open. And these are my favorite. Nope, they see 2 people who are actually going to scan Beacon. So they're going to play underneath, and it looks like they're going to get thermited. This is my corner right here. If you take this corner, he might be able to stabilize and survive, but the Valk is separated, so hopefully the team does not single the Valk out. 'Cause it looks like Legacy is. If no, there they go. They're playing the outside. They need to play as a team here. This is where the gunfighting really, really is going to show who takes this one. And they're charging out of their hiding, and they actually down one of the players.
To even fight now. 2-1-2, and wow,
And there they go. They take it.
that was beautiful.
Wow, that was very impressive. Peaches were able to take out full send boys. And that wasn't
Yep.
that was kind of like a half send. That wasn't really, in my opinion, a full send. And maybe if they would have sent everyone in, they only sent 2 people in. So
Yeah, it was good stuff right there. Like I was saying earlier, in the end game, when there's only 3 teams, it's you and 2 other teams. You let them fight, and these 2 players here can win the game. You just saw them take a whole squad out, right? But
absolutely.
imagine in the end game, where there's only 3 teams, and you come in at the right time for the perfect scenario.
And clutch it up. Yeah, the perfect scenario, and come and clutch it up.
Definitely. We're gonna have to put you to rap, by the way. Have you ever heard me do a stream where I just rhyme everything the whole time? I'll be
Into it. Yeah, I have heard you do that.
well. Yeah, it's gonna be your turn. You got a freestyle for us.
Oh man. Well, maybe we'll get it for one of the next times. On the first time, I'm gonna stick to. Oh, it looks like there's some fighting going on right here. Peaches.
Team Peach in the building.
And one of them down again. Their Bangalore is down, and it looks like they're playing a smart underneath. They get some shots from another team, and it looks like a third party is going to be coming in. They just need to survive. Valkyl, the Valk is doing perfect, taking height, and there's the third party. They're getting charge rifle from afar. He needs to play on this north side right here. This is the side. The other side, if she gets on the other side, she will get knocked almost immediately, but with the ring closing in, she's going to take a Valk ult. This is a perfect play. See the team on height? That would have been her demise right there.
And now this gonna be just a survival situation.
But she's going into a spot where it is occupied by some other teams. She's going to have to go all the way around the mountain, and she's going to have enough time. But just hoping that there's no one on the other side. That is always the Valk's worst nightmare, is that, alright, I've made it out of my Valk ult, but the entire lobby knows I just Valk ulted. So hopefully no one's on the other side, and she'll be safe. The rat. And just as I called it, the caster's curse, there is a team on the other side waiting. And she's going to be forced to fight this.
Yeah, there's no other way. I mean, that's why I said the cooldown on the ultimate should be higher, just to make it really tough on players. That's just my thoughts, but
I absolutely can see that. That's one of the things where, oh my gosh, she might be safe because of them Valk ulting. She's gonna play the ring, and she's
Caster's jinx again. And we're seeing some troubled times. These are those type of moments. And does she even have heals right now? It looks like she's not even gonna heal up. I'm not sure what her thoughts are. We're gonna watch somebody die in the ring in the 3rd round. Yes.
And they do. Sometimes that's all it is. That's all she wrote. And
damn, that was ugly.
Your worst enemy.
Let's see what we have.
That was ugly. And we're gonna rotate around and see what's going down right here with C2N, one of the top teams currently, with a Gibby bombardment happening, and they're surviving this pretty comfortably. But they got a team right here with them. They're gonna have to play it smart, play it safe, and make sure they hold the right positions in this situation. That doesn't look like they have a great spot.
No, they're
Teams
taking
on both
some damage.
sides.
and they are going to be sandwiched. If they don't make a play one way or another, they will be sandwiched, and they're moving out of this. This is perfect. This is exactly what they need to do. They need to wait for the 42 seconds. They need to make sure, hopefully, if they get an ultimate accelerant, if they can figure out a way to get their Valk ult back up, they can definitely take a different position that's a little bit more advantageous to them.
100%,
The
100%.
Loba, ooh, that Loba ult is amazing at this point. And there it is, the ultimate accelerant, just like I was saying.
Yeah, I just want to rant right now about the Loba. I was playing ranked, and I'm at like diamond, right? And these dudes picked Loba. This has happened to me with multiple players, and I gotta understand from the community. Somebody tell me why people do this. They picked the Loba. They did not use her ultimate. Okay, we made it all the way to 4th place, and I'm screaming on the microphone, dude, can you use your ultimate? You know, at first I'm like, hey, pop the ultimate when you get a chance, Loba. This was the first round, and then the second round I'm like, hey, can you pop your ultimate? Let's see what's around here. And I was going crazy, and this happens to me a lot. Just a random rant. Apologies. I don't know why some players are like that. It's kind of wild. And look at this. Oh my goodness. C2N getting popped and dropped. They're about to get rocked if they do not rush and try to make a stop here. And they have to get back in the ring too, because that thing stank. And they trying to be the kings, but they fighting and they ready to bang, and bang, they are eliminated.
MD
Most hated.
takes them out. Ooh,
MD.
It was one of those. Ooh, it was one of those situations where it was troublesome. It was exactly what we said. You're trying to go uphill in the sandwich, and you don't want to be in the meat in the sandwich. Unfortunately, you want to be one of the pieces of bread.
Definitely. If you get cracked, you gotta fight back. Try to strike just like that, or if not, you're gonna end up flat. And here we are, MD with the wingman, trying to do their thing, and we'll see if they could make it work. And right now, those shots really special. Like I said, trying to get that Valk as she Valks ults is such a great feeling when you do hit it. I honestly probably did it twice. I remember once for sure, but it's a rare thing to catch her. Once they get up in the air, you're just hoping your shots land. For me personally, but that's something that I'm sure the pro players, we've seen it time and time again. They're able to laser a Valk at times. So let's see what's happening right now. If they pick up a Kraber, guys, this is gonna get insane, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the pro players, again, favorite, and they got a G7, so it's probably not ideal. They're gonna work with it, but obviously the Kraber would have been devastating for any team in this.
Speaking of that, the loot is changing, so we're gonna end up getting the R301 and the Rampage. You're gonna have to craft it for the next season.
Absolutely,
So,
and that's going to change a lot of people's play styles.
yeah, I think the meta is like 60-some% all kills from a R301.
Right, and it's
Something very high. I'm lying on the stat. I know somebody pointed the stats out not so long ago. It was pretty high, maybe 40 to 60 on R301 kills. So that's gonna change everything.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where it's gonna change a lot of where people land. They're gonna look for the replicators, and they're gonna try to land on those replicators because it's going to, like, it wants to be in people's hands. The R301 wants to do damage, and it can only do it if you replicate it next season. So it's gonna be interesting to see how players are gonna adjust.
For
He's
sure,
popping
for
off
sure.
some good shots.
I'm liking where MD is right here for the moment. They can get into the ring safely when necessary. but they're on the high ground at the moment, and they're trying to keep it as long as humanly possible, which is the right thing because you want teams to eliminate themselves. And there are some teams that are pretty busy on the opposite side. We're going to take a quick look. Team we haven't even talked about yet, DWD. That's what we're going to call them. And these guys right here popping some shots. I'm loving the wingman action. I'm actually very nervous about next season because I think the wingman's going into the care package, which is kind of stupid. That gun should never go to the care package. It's my favorite. And I've been getting really good with it lately. So who knows? We'll see what happens. But right here, DWD out of the ring, and they have a tough situation. I would have Valk alt, but they don't have a Valk. They have a Watson. And now when you play with a Watson, in my opinion, you got to have a scout, and you have to be in the ring at all times, and you got to have a building if you can. But right now in World's Edge, in this specific end game here, there is no buildings left on this next ring. They're in deep waters. This is going to be who got the most bubbles and who can survive this situation.
I'm gonna speak on behalf of all the teammates of a Watson main. I actually play with Eclipse, who mains Watson, and look, she's going in. She's gonna be a pusher, just like Eclipse is. And it seems like they're gonna bubble fight, but we're gonna get one down, and Watson's really hurt. She's gonna try to rotate off and try to. It's just survival at this moment. Like, her team is down, and she's gonna just try to get a Phoenix kit, but she could not get it off and actually gets taken out. So Darkwing Ducks get taken out. And it looks like it's by Too Sturdy. They had one player down, but were able to stabilize and use the actual death boxes to get armor swaps off real quick. But I actually have seen a lot of Watson mains who take very, very, very courageous fights, which is amazing. I love seeing aggressive characters who are supposed to be defensive.
For sure. And that's what I was talking about with the team. I'm not plugging them, by the way. They're not paying me to say that, but Team Empire has been very brave during the actual playoffs of the ALGS, rocking different legends and trying different things, because these players, these pro players, practice with the same legends, the same weapons over and over and over. And then you get like a 90 something plus for Gibby, 90 plus for Valk pick rates, and it's like, damn, okay, these guys are eating up, and there's nobody else, no variety there. And look at these shots from Team Sturdy, doing a good job here, trying to clean up shop.
301. And these are some nasty head glitches that they're hitting, and I say a head glitch just because it's hard for the other person to see you, and it's easier for you to see them. And they're hitting all of their shots with pinpoint accuracy. So this is one of those things they got pushing T down and eliminated.
Yep, there's a team above them on the left here, so they have to be careful. It's only 4 teams left, guys.
And you know who that is? That's MD. MD is sitting up there, and they just are forced off the top. And the other one is Bread. Team Bread.
Yep, it's 4 teams left. And we're looking at it from an overview very quickly so you guys can see what's going on. 4 teams left. Actually, not everybody is doing well here. You're looking at teams down and out, and there it is, down to the last 2 teams. It's about to go down. It's getting real. Let's go ahead and take a quick look from the action. And again, MD's been at this spot for a long time, holding it. There's no way they're gonna give this up, I assume, for the moment. But oh, here it is, the Cossack gas. This is where the fight begins and ends right now. Can MD win this? They had the God spot for a while. They just gave up the high ground, and no! Wow! Team Sturdy getting it done.
Time we've seen someone with the God spot lose the fight because it's hard to hold.
Definitely is hard to hold, and that was a great stuff right there. And again, just the beginning. We still got 2 more games to go. It's going down very shortly. If you could give us a quick breakdown on the replay here.
Absolutely. It looked like we were going to be in a really good spot, and Team Sturdy actually took a height right here hitting some nice wingman shots. And we got that little overview that showed that Bricked was down to their last player. And normally what we want to see is the third party come in at this moment, but they didn't. And since they didn't take it, they're down to their last two teams right here. And it looked like they had the God spot, MD. But if we watch what the Valk is doing, she's looking a little bit towards the left when the team's on the right. And they climb up at the perfect time, take out the Caustic. The G7 just was not hitting. Maybe if they had the shotgun at that moment, they could have taken it. But it was down to their last person, and Too Sturdy just overtook them. Great job by them. Great job by MD. Great job by both teams.
For sure, it was great stuff. And man, oh man, just the beginning. We still got a lot of games to go. Well, actually, I'm lying. 2 more games, and we're in the grand finale. Looking at the overview on how it all works, it's a public event. You can all sign up. Pretty simple, pretty basic. And anybody and everybody is welcome on board with us. And then you're gonna play 10 events, score as much points through placement eliminations, get yourself in there, blah 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 blah, all that good stuff. Let's see the damn scores, because I can't believe what we just saw right there. A change in the top 3. Once again, as I said, sometimes you get special stuff. If you can go ahead and break down what you're seeing on these leaderboards and what you're seeing from the players and what you're feeling about the current scenario.
If we looked at it, GC was right there. They were number 2, and Nobodies was number 1. And it all of a sudden you have MD, Too Sturdy, C2N climb back into it. So honestly, with 2 games remaining, I couldn't tell you which one of these teams is going to make it. I couldn't tell you which one's going to be in the top 5, and I couldn't tell you if Nobodies is going to be that number 1 team. It's really, really tight, and these are one of those, like, make or break games for, you can say, honestly, all the way down to 6 and a stretch for Team 7 and Team 8, Bread and R3G, but it's still anyone's game. To be as cliche as humanly possible, it is still anyone's game at the moment.
Totally agree. It definitely is anyone's game, and we are definitely about to check out who has what it takes on the last 2 matches, because it kind of changes now. You know, things get very real. Honestly, that's how I feel when I watch these. I start to see teams turn it up that haven't been on point, and then I see the teams that are on fire also kind of keep that flame going and really be confident in what they're doing. So super interesting to see how this all goes. And just to kind of give you guys a rundown on some of these stats here, you're looking at Nobody at number 1 with 56. So little by little, the rest of these teams are catching up. MD doing a great job in 2nd place. Too Sturdy sitting there in 3rd place. That's really solid stuff. But everybody else right below them in the top 5, top 6 are literally like a point or 2 or 3 points away. So it's not like you can't catch right back up in this scenario. And even those teams a little lower than that, you know, you've seen these crazy lobbies where guys just explode and go wild. So it's definitely anybody's game in this scenario, and we'll see how it all works out. Hope you guys are enjoying it as we continue to build and go forward. Game number 5 is going to start in a second, guys. We like to give everybody a break. So get yourself a drink, get a snack, come back. We're going with 5 and 6 in just a moment. Hope y'all enjoying it. Thank you for all the follows, by the way. Appreciate all the people who did subscribe earlier. The more subscriptions, the better. We want to start lifting the number up to high numbers. We don't really have a lot of numbers on the subscription side for Twitch. We want to change that. and it's up to you guys. So show love, support, so we can build this community together and do something special. We have some cool co-hosts. New co-host is going to be joining in just a second. They're going to be casting with us and just giving us their thoughts and opinions so far for the final 2 games. We do have awesome Team Brand. That's what I'm gonna call them. Team B, Team Brand, Team Bren, Team Covert Op. There's so many names to call them.
One.
Whatever y'all feel.
Meal.
We're gonna be right back in just a second. Go ahead and get your snacks and prep. It's about to go down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next game is legitimately prepped. All the teams are prepared. I like it when they're ready to go. This is kind of a flowing for everybody watching that is a player. Thank you so much for being on time, for doing the little things that we ask, which is getting into the lobby and naming your team. That's pretty much all we ask from you guys. Show up, name your team, and let's play. And I appreciate it. So far, so good. We got 2 more games for the viewers to watch and for the players to play, and should be a really good time today. I hope y'all enjoying it so far. I definitely see some cool stuff happening, but I think that we're about to see some more amazing plays and some interesting stuff from some of these teams going forward. And I'm gonna pass it over to B. You know, B, in these late game situations, the last 2 rounds, what are your thoughts and feelings on what you need to do in this scenario?
This is the time to really, really, really solidify your team, solidify your placement for the top teams. Just continue staying the course. And for some of the bottom teams, some of the lower half, it's time to do something different. Time to change up the scenery. It might be you're taking some rotations, or you're taking some flights you shouldn't take, or you're landing some spots that you're contesting. It's just time to change it up. So it's not broken, but like let's get on it. This is the time to really lock in and, you know, show the rest of the lobby what you're made of. You can fly up these leaderboards just like some of these other guys did.
Definitely. And we'll see that in a minute, right? As these teams prepare to go and the new match is about to start. So get ready. This is going to be game number 5 in just a second. And right before we started, we have another co-host with us who is called Canadian. I'm not sure what I should call you.
I go by many names. You can call me Eric, Canadian. You can call me Kwomori. I go by a lot of different names, but you know what? Eric will work here for now. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Eric is in the building from Canada. How we doing out there, man?
Well, you know, it's been pretty nice. We've had a pretty kicking weather, and I gotta say, after my 10 dark months of winter, I am ready for the spring and summer, man.
For sure. I'm gonna my first year coming up right now, spending time in the sun. I had planned to just be in the sun every day for at least 2 hours. It's a weird thing. I just made up my mind. I said, no matter what, this summer, every day, I'm going to be out in the sun. And so that's my thing. And I recommend everybody to touch some grass, right? Put your feet on the grass, man. Come on. But we're getting into game number 5 right now, Eric. And what we're looking at, you know, you're looking at the leaderboards and you wonder what teams are going to do different. For me personally, dropping hot purposely. I want some KP maybe, or am I going to do the opposite and say, hey, you know, I want to win with placement. I want to be a winner, and I'm not going to just try to risk it by dropping hot and force a fight when I might not even get a weapon. Sometimes it happens like that. So that's the question. But let's go right ahead and check out game number 5. It's just starting. Players have landed already. Again, it's in World's Edge, and game number 5 is about to begin. These teams, Peaches just dropped next door to a team 2, so they have, you know, KP right at their access, and they looted up pretty good here. And what I always say, and you can tell me what you feel about this here, B. Basically, I always say if you get a color shield and a weapon, you're ready. Any color shield, whether it's blue, purple, whatever.
I agree 1000%. Especially if you're dropping contested, we need to all be on the same page, and we need to go fight a team ASAP. Like, a lot of the teams early are not going to have the same luck that you just had. They might still have a bow check, for all I say, and the white shield. So you will most likely have the advantage on a team if you just get a colored shield and a decent gun. We've seen an R301 and a bow check, and they need to go fight this fight.
For sure. It should be interesting. We'll see how it all works out. Right now, Peaches had a team next door to them. They did not have to pick that fight, but they see them. And we're going to see, this is the interesting decision, right? Like, hey, we're taking this, let's pop some shots, or are we going to hold off? And the team is pushing them a little bit. And they have a purple shield to Peach's blue shield. So this could get extremely interested. Whose gunplay is the best is the question here, right? And right now, it's a standoff. Pats is looking to see what they're going to do. And we will go from there as we move forward.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. They're throwing the bubble, they're throwing it, and just trying to see what they can do off of these nades. It's a good entry.
Oh, these are going to be some big nades.
Oh.
These early game scenarios, it's all about playing your effective weapon range. The R301, it's that perfect versatile weapon. You've got close, medium, and long range. Bow check a little bit harder, and you can see that sort of fight just sort of begins to unwind a bit. You see these guys, let's see rocking a cart, purple stock, fast reload, barrel stabilizer, getting thirded now from the back. Not going to be able to grab that banner. Looks like Gibby's trying to hold him off. He gets down to it now. Looks like it's just going to be a bit of a rat race here from our Valkyrie. She's going to pop a bat, get around the corner here.
You're doing a good job, man. This right here, survival at its finest. Oh no, I talked too soon. And they caught her as she was trying to Valko and got it done. Team Ops legitimately cleared a bit. Wow. That was great stuff by them. By MD, I'm sorry.
That deadly PK wingman combo. Looks to be a bit of a fancy little bit of looting here from our controller buddy. I respect you, man. Controller brother to another. And you know, that's good. You got to keep mobile. You got to keep looting. Any team could be staring at you from a mile away. You got to stay mobile. Do not make yourself an easy target. That's a shield swap you have to make early when you could be using it later. Could be meds you might be able to save onto in a bit later in that game.
Totally agree there. And the thing with that is you got to also know that it's not easy for a controller player to do it, man. I tried the methods that they have out there, which are pretty basic. You know, when you go, you slide towards a box and you can open it and still be moving as you pull something out. But it's like literally a split second, and it's not as effective as the keyboard and mouse players where they can easily maneuver. And that's the one thing about keyboard and mouse. So many great movement abilities in that situation. And we're gonna take a quick look at this fight going on right here with GC. What are you seeing, B?
They're already down to their last player. It looks like they're down to Kyle, and he immediately gets taken out by C2N. It looks like they're actually getting third parties from the side too. They're getting the res off on their Bloodhound, but it's one of those like make or break moments right here, because now, oh man,
bag. Yeah, we see a bit of a kind of a defensive scramble here. They're looking to just pull together whatever they can. Here you can see the scan. They're trying to look at the angles. They're trying to see, do we want to push this team? Do we want to take this close range building fight? Do we know what they have? Or do we want to go for a more lean back approach, this third party? They're going to blow the doors off, less cover. But they have managed to pretty well fully reset their HP and shields, so they're not going to be a weak team by any standards here.
Yeah, I like the recovery here in that scenario. Whoever's the team on the outside did not time it well to push them, and they should have been aggressive and been able to be right there. And it's easier said than done, right? We all want a third party perfect timing, but sometimes these guys are just really good at shield swapping, really good at healing up before any type of scenario like that comes into play. It looks like they're going to be the aggressors, and they want to move in on the action right now.
And you know what, Charlie?
It looks like Raven Outlaw is the team that was fighting them, and Raven Outlaw only had white shield, so maybe that's the reason they didn't push, and they're getting downed on the roof right now. The bubbles are both coming out, and that Gibby fight is crucial, and here goes Raven Outlaw down to their no players.
Very good attack there from them. I mean, C2N, they know what they're doing, that Gibby fight. I've seen them play it in previous games. Yeah, this Gibby's, there's the Wraith whose name Gibby. The Gibby whose name Wraith. I don't know. Oh no, third party in the ring here. And you know, a lot of people, that charge rifle, amazing for third partying at long range, but the massive drawback is that is an incredibly weak weapon to have in one of those close range scenarios. And that really is like, it's a laser pointer. It's not just pinging the enemy, it's pinging on you. If someone sees that, they know you only have one good weapon for that close range fight, and that can sometimes make it for a lot of people. You know, that's going to be a big killer.
Definitely. And actually, there's going to be a laser, breaking news, in Apex Legends attachments in the near future, maybe this season. There hasn't been a confirmation on that, but we know that it's something that's been worked on. And hopefully, you know, we'll get it confirmed. Maybe somebody already has it confirmed, but from what I know, it's not confirmed yet. But just imagine every weapon you want you can throw a laser on it instead of a stabilizer. So it'll be interesting how players utilize that to their advantage, and then, you know, just carrying a stabilizer when you want to have that, and then also having that laser when you want to swap it over
Laser
easily.
Yeah,
So
that would be insane. I'm really one of those players that would love that.
And I think that makes a big difference on certain weapons. I think if it also took the same attachment as a barrel stabilizer, you're getting that sort of trade-off. I feel like if they were ever to add a laser sight, it would have to absolutely improve your hip fire. I feel like for some weapons, that takes them from mediocre to incredible. Like, you can take an alternator, you can take an R9, those have barrel stabilizers, and you can say that putting a barrel stabilizer on them is worth it for long range, but you're not really using those weapons too much for that sort of long range engagement. So just making them stronger in the areas they're already really good in could call on some pros to say, hey, this is OP. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, casuals running around, there's not a barrel stabilizer in sight, everyone's got laser pointers on their guns, it looks like laser tag.
that might end up happening, but we'll see. And that's probably why they haven't put it out yet. One of the best things about that, I will say, you know, paying attention to the devs balancing the game as much as possible is that, you know, we all have our moments that we want what we want as players. I know I have things like buff this, buff Pathfinder, buff Crypto, and some of my favorite legends and stuff. But I also like, hey, nerf Gibbies, buff Dome, and nerf Valk's ultimate, and oh, and beautiful fight right here by C2N. We'll talk more about that in a second, but really good stuff by them right here. Getting super aggressive, somehow healing up right before this fight. And now they're pushing the team back, doing a good job lasering them and keeping them off guard in this scenario at the moment. Shots raining off. Beautiful. Down to two of the players. These are the Raven from Raven Clan. And man, oh man, C2N trying to stay on top of that leaderboards and maybe take over the leaderboards in this scenario. So far, so good by them. They are killing it with 8 kills at the moment. Solid performance by them.
Look at the way the tides turned. They were being gatekept by Raven Reapers, and they ended up being the ones who got back. Like you said, they were able to heal up and stabilize, and they ended up getting all the KP from them. Every single one.
Yeah, I think while we were having that rant, they were fighting for their lives. They were inside a ring, taking heavy ring damage, struggling. They were looking around, trying to make sure that they weren't putting themselves in any compromising positions, playing to cover as much as possible. And despite all that running, C2N still going to be on a bit of a treadmill here as they have to continue to rotate into the next ring. And it's a pretty far jog, and we only have an Octane jump pad. Now, I am an Octane main, and I will say you can get some crazy distance. But even I have to admit, in this scenario, a Valk is just going to help you get there so much more safely and fast, especially now that I feel like they got to be running a little bit low on health meds at this point. They used a lot in that ring. While I don't doubt that other team had them, I think we may be in for a bit more trouble. This is a really dangerous area to get gatekept. There's not a lot of room to play.
Definitely agree with that. And this thing is, you know, that's a conversation I had earlier about nerfing Valk's ultimate by making her cool down extremely high. That way teams are like, hey, we're gonna use it only when we really need it. And in these scenarios, you might want to Octane because of his jump pad possibly more than Valkyrie. And I'm not saying to nerf her because I don't like her. She's actually one of my top 3 legends favorites. But just the idea of trying to balance it, and I was saying that earlier about how do you balance these things, and the devs do a really good job not just giving in to a demand like mine's about Pathfinder getting a buff or something silly, you know, that it might be cool for me and it might be good for a bunch of us that love Pathfinder, but what is it doing for the game, you know? And we've got a lot of great experiences in Apex, and that's what I love most. And right now we're watching a lot of C2N today. This is turning into a C2N show, but we're gonna switch it up and see right now FSB2 and see what they can do in this moment. They do have C2N right next door, and they might want to take this fight, and they're probably gearing up for it as we speak. And it's a dangerous thing. Look at this. They're actually giving Wraith the alternator, so that's interesting right there. They want her to possibly get them safe through different areas, and they're at the edge of the map. This is, either really good or really bad type of scenarios, in my opinion. Holding the edge could put you in a lot of trouble with fights, but sometimes it works out in your favor too. So we're gonna see how they play this here.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to just ping off some teams and find the perfect locations for them to Octane jump pad into. They're trying to third party this right now and get some KP. Looks like they have one guy one shot, and they are not able to secure any of it. It's going to be a hard rotation if they don't get in within the next 50 seconds, because they're going to have some teams gatekeeping. So this is one of those very, like you said, very dangerous plays. They need to make a decision, and the IGL needs to take control of it and find a way into this next range.
For sure, because now that you're fighting the ring, and apologies, Eric, well, now you're fighting the ring and the players, and the ring starts hurting a little bit in the third round. This is when it gets a little real. So we'll see how this one works out. So far, so good for them. Look at this, getting a nice some leverage with that Octane, but jumping right in front of the team.
Oh no!
And this is a survival moment for these guys, and we'll see how they'll play it out. You gotta love battle royale games, right there, Eric?
Oh my goodness, I don't know what that jump pad was doing there, and I think the Octane is saying the same thing to his team. What the heck is that pad just sitting there perfectly waiting for me to accidentally spring myself directly into line of sight of an entire another team? My goodness. And you know, I thank God for that gold armor. He's able to heal up really fast, so even if that team were to try to push them here, he's got the fast heals. He can get right back in there. The passive regen, I think Octane is probably the best person you can have for this gold shield. They're going to make a bit of a jump pad play on top. Looks to be clear so far, but there it is, right behind that rock. They're going to take a little bit of charge rifle damage, but as they get closer, that charge rifle becomes much more of almost a weakness than a strength. And let's see, as they can they catch them on the rotate. As another team shooting down from on top, they're trying to play slow. They don't want to engage this. They want to just try to grab the kill and get out. They want to not shoot bullets. You can see that R301's only carrying about 100 rounds. Without a sight on that, that's not much ammo to use.
It's a very, very dangerous game that they're playing, though, because they're looking for the KP, which they might get. But this is the dangerous part. They're getting third party from the top. You don't always want to be chasing KP, and this is exactly the reason why, guys.
Ooh.
Yeah, I agree. It's not easy to you know, decide. Sometimes in the moment, you're just in the heat of the moment. And right now, they're surviving the Gibby bombardments, and they're through one on themselves, actually. But they have another Gibby here, also looking to push the fight. Can they win this right now? I'm liking the car shots. Beautiful hip fire there, but it wasn't enough, and they get eliminated. And that right there was good stuff by MD, a team who was doing really great so far. They're top of the standings in third place overall. So with some of these kills here, I'm sure they will be definitely taking control. They got 7 kills already, and it's only 9 teams left at this very moment. So a lot of action left for everybody. We're gonna take a quick rotation and check on Team Sturdy, who's down a player. They're in the thick of it right now. They're going to try to respawn their player, but they're getting pushed hard, and this Gibby bubble fight is going to get interesting with that PK.
Oh, amazing shots. It looks like he's got a wingman and a PK, and he's taking MD down. This
My
is one of
goodness. Oh. Sorry to interrupt there. That was
No.
beautiful. He played his bubble so well, and he's not even the Gibby here. Like, that is some true burst damage. He's only got 4 shots. He is gonna get that reload though.
That was a perfect play, and he did notice that there is a solo Gibby back behind him, so he's gonna try to take out, get some more KP, but the storm is closing in, and he's gonna have to find a way up. That's the hard part about not being a rotation character. He's gonna end up dying in the storm. There's no way
Can
up.
he climb this?
No, there's no way up. This is one of those just try to tank some storm damage, and he's going to end
man.
up falling by this
Oh.
ring. This is the second time we're gonna see someone fall by the ring. Live
We're
on
back
stream,
out of that. We're going to watch High Peak right here, see how good they're feeling and doing. 7 teams left right now. We're looking pretty sharp here. And if you're in this position here, Eric, what is your idea for the setup when it comes to rotating here. Will you waste a Valk, or are you gonna take the time and scout the area and see if you can rotate safely without wasting the Valk ultimate that you can use later in a critical situation? What's the game plan in your mind and what you're seeing?
Ooh, in this type of scenario, there is not much cover. If that zone had pulled slightly bit down to the south, there's a lot more buildings you can take, and I'd say utilities probably the first thing I would use. I want to get to that safe area and have as much natural cover as possible. But here you can see they're doing the same thing. They're playing the cover. The only issue is they don't really have the best path to route in, especially with Big Mode over there, just kind of chilling in the corner. I absolutely would say that there's one team at least sitting there. As a whole nother team falls, Evade is able to kill McStir with a PK bleed out. And we're just kind of looking to see what is their play. Me personally, I'm going to use this ult. Round 5 ring, like, look, there's a lot of different games you're going to play, but the one constant enemy throughout them all is that ring, and it is going to eat you alive if you do not respect its position.
I agree 50% of the time with the Valkyrie at this time, because a lot of the teams are going to be bunkered in areas. So finding the right area as a Valk team, and me being a Valk main, coming from experience, I know I've landed on a full squad who I did not expect to be there. So it's one of those things, it's that double-edged sword. Do I Valkyrie and get a good position, or do I try the Valkyrie and maybe take one on the chin and just say GG's?
Yeah, just to talk about that, we're looking at them do what I was recommending, which was save that Valkyrie for a situation that you might need later. This doesn't mean that they're going to perform well, it's going to work out, but right now they have all of their utilities. All right, I look at all of our abilities, the tacticals, ultimates, and passives as a utility. It's a tool, and if you waste it too early, you won't be able to maximize your potential on winning. And right now they're trying to do so, and they have a very interesting area here. They don't have to worry about a Gibby bubble for any type of bombardments of aerial strikes. So they can use it specifically if the team is pushing or they need to revive and things of that nature, and they can hold this down here. And I've actually never seen a team finish a game down below in here. So this would be fun and interesting on how they play this here. I would take out that shield from that crate there and try to have it ready to go for whenever there's a fight. And there's a small, quick little habit.
And they're going to be eliminated. Pushing P is eliminated. They tried something crazy and they tried to push PGR. And High Peak might end up getting the great spot because all these other teams are literally inting each other right now.
Yep, and I want to take a quick look, and it's Team Bread up top on the high ground for a moment. That ring is going to close on them, so they're going to have to drop. And there's a team right below them, so they got to be very careful. One of those things that I've seen often is a team in the high ground, when the ring starts closing, they'll drop down, and there's a team just waiting for them below. So that's what's happening here. Will Team Bread win this situation? How are they going to play it? And they actually got the team to rotate. So it's pretty good so far on their situation.
Yeah, it looks to be a bit of a Wraith portal play, and you know what? That's smart, but that portal's already gone thanks to that ring tick damage, so they're going to be very committed to that spot. But I saw earlier they were carrying a Wingman and a Mastiff, and the main strengths to that is close range fighting only, so they want to try to bring them to fight as close as possible. And while the Car Wingman is also an incredibly good loadout, and I think the reason a lot of people use the Wing isn't just because it hits 45 the body, it hits like a truck. They're going to force the bubble out with the gas. Here comes the ult now. And they are, wow, Red is in an amazing spot here. They're going to go for the drop.
They drop.
He's going to have
It
to...
might have been a little bit early ultimate, though, because now they still have a Valk on the other side, and now they have one of their teammates down. It's going to be a close one.
I think this is all going to come down to Hunto.
Yeah. Flower goes down immediately after.
This Gibby's holding a nice spot, but he gets eliminated, and that's it. Down to 2 teams, guys. It's about to go down. And there it is. PGR. Getting it done.
GGPGR. Well performed there. just kind of waiting it out. I think Bread lost at the moment they jumped. I don't know if they needed to play that. I felt that if they played the other side of that rock, they might have had a little more of a chance. But you know what? I will say they did get the kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes that's all you needed is to take a little bit more KP, take a little bit more, put those points on the board, and I felt like, yeah, they played it well up until the very end with, like you said, Eric, that little drop off might have been the reason because they could have held this a little bit longer. Even the Gibby ult, wait for the bump to go down a little bit, and then maybe have taken a little bit more damage here. But as you can see, that Wraith is elusive.
Sometimes taking the 1 tick of ring damage is well worth being able to just dump a mag right into your enemy's back.
Yeah, and I like the concept here. You know, you got to understand it's a Gibby. There was a Valk above him just sitting there pretty, you know, that's one of the best things about her passive. She's able to maneuver like no one else in the game, and as you can see right there, he gets eliminated, and pretty much it was a wrap there in that situation because now Team PGR took over and took control and got that W really quick. So that was a great stuff for game number 5, and we are going into game number 6 in just a second. Appreciate everybody watching, and we appreciate everybody showing some love with the follows and the subscriptions today. Appreciate that big time. Just want to remind everybody you can go to our Discord and sign up to these events. These are free and they're open to anybody and everybody. There's no requirements other than coming to the Discord, having a team, and signing up with them. Play with your friends, your family. You know, if you have a dog who knows how to play a video game, you start a YouTube channel and you'll become famous. You could play with him as well. And we'll have him on here every day and we'll make it a thing. But feel free to get in and jump on with us. We're letting teams play 10 qualifiers, and the way it works is all of your points in these 10 qualifiers are added up on our website for the standings. And after the 10, and everybody gets a chance, because we're going to have over 20 plus events. We've already had over 10, but we're going to have more added consistently. For example, this weekend we have one on Sunday. Tomorrow we have another one. So you get 3 events this week, possibly 3 events next week, and we're just gonna keep on building as we go forward. So pretty much stick around and lock in, and you're gonna be able to have a lot of fun playing in a competitive scene to help you get better as a player as well. It's nothing better to do than that, because you're gonna really excel and take yourself to that next level if you do so. With that in mind, we're going to take a quick look at these leaderboards. Can we talk about it? Can we be about it? It looks like Team Nobody is still somebody. Every time they've played, they've only played a few times in our events, but they have already cemented that Team Nobody is actually somebody who's humble enough to call himself Nobody. And right now they're sitting at 59, only 2 points away from PGR, who just won that last game and given themselves a chance in second place to try to steal that first place spot. But it's going to be close, and this is what that last game's about. Who has what it takes to take the score? Remember, these aren't just for today, these are for the long haul. Play in 10 events and you're going to be able to make it into the playoffs, and we'll see if you're good enough. Only the top teams will make it into the playoffs, and then we'll talk about all that in the coming weeks. But yeah, it should be a great time and good stuff. Shout out to MD Potter for 54 points, 2 Sturdy for 52, and C2N for 48. That's the top 5 teams right now, but it's looking pretty good. If we can just do a quick what team you are looking out for and interested in from B and Eric. If you guys can start on with B, if you could tell me what team specifically are you looking at for this last game?
See, this is exactly what we were talking about, that these teams all have a chance to win. Within the top 5, we have an 11-point difference. That's it. That's what's separating these top 5 teams. So I'm looking at MD. MD is one, like, they're a team that's been super consistent. I know Nobody's is the easy pick that I could always say, like, these are the guys that have been popping off. But MD has got a chance to really, really put their name on the map with this last game. Game 6. You need to have a pop-off game. And the team, I'm saying it, the team who wins this one is most likely going to be the team who takes it. It's hard for me to say one of these teams on the lower end are going to win it, but I think a team like MD is going to take it.
Eric, what are you feeling?
I do agree. I feel like right now, I don't know if you can grab enough RP in one of these last matches to actually push yourself that high. Me personally, the Darkwing Ducks are my underdogs. I love that name, and I hope they're having fun, participating in these tourneys here. It's a great name. It's really generally the only thing I know about them, but I gotta say, for me, seeing these tight top 5, I really think that it is anyone's game. And any of these top 5 teams, if they can pull off a win here, I think it's going to shoot them to the top of the board. 59, 57, 54. These are so close. I feel like just that little bit extra in one of these last games is going to be enough to either topple them or put them right on the pedestal. Nobody's really leaving no bodies to live. But I mean, I don't know. Too Sturdy might have a chance here. I haven't seen too much from them. I think C2N, we even follow them a lot. I do think that they are absolutely one of the top contenders here, but I can't really pick. I want my Darkwing Ducks to move up a bit. Come on, boys. What are you doing? Flap those wings. Let's get moving.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so I'm going to make my wild card prediction here. In number 7 is a team called GC. They are down almost 20 points, 18 points to be exact. Somehow, I'm just asking for a miracle. Well, somehow 18 points, they will score more than all those top 5 teams that are right there, way above them, and they will be number 1 overall for today's events. That's my crazy wild card prediction. It's probably not coming true, but it would be insane.
Hey, we've seen them in the past put on some crazy performances. I've actually been a part of it where they had a team kill of over 20 team kills. So, like, we have seen this. So it is a bold prediction, but I'm going to say it is possible.
It is possible. So we're going to see what type of possibilities we'll get out of all of these teams, right? And this is the final game. So first of all, big thank you to my co-hosts. They're doing amazing and they're incredible right now, to be honest with you. And I'm sure everybody watching is enjoying having this trio. I actually really like the combination right now. Super interesting. And we are going to take a quick look right into game number 6. It's the grand finale, guys. This is the last one. And where you drop does matter a lot. A lot of people casuals might not consider dropping as a big deal, but you drop in the right location, get great loot, being able to rotate somewhere safely and hold a great position in the ring, it's good stuff. And I want to talk about that and give you guys all a turn here to give me your opinions. There's 2 ways I like to play it. I like to play it where I get a good landing spot where is good loot, and I know I can rotate pretty safely without getting third partied or anything like that. Or I like to drop somewhere dead center. The reason for the dead center drop is so that I can be in the ring, close to the ring, and rotate to the ring right away. If I'm in the dead center, I'm usually going to be able to have quick access. Those are my 2 ideas on how I like to play for landing when I'm playing competitively in any way. B, you can start up and give us your thoughts on landing.
Landing, personally, just depends on map for me. I know, like, with Genesis, we love landing Big Mod. And on Stormpoint, it's one of those, I do like the antenna barometer lands. But I also love Mill just based off of where you can go next. So I think for me, it's all based on, as well, who is in the lobby with me. Because I do my homework. I make sure I know where most of the teams land. and I know, like, if I'm ready to contest someone or if I'm looking to kind of like play a little bit slower. It's all situational for me and my team.
Right. And how
What
about
about you,
Eric
Eric?
here? See what his thoughts on landing spots and the mindset on that.
Oof, landing's tricky. Landing straight up determines to me how aggressive do you want to be in the beginning of the game. How quick do you want to risk having a red Evo over someone's blue or purple at the cost of being sent back to the lobby? Me personally, as an Octane main, I am a stim, win, run forward, hit him. I don't care if I'm in a bad position. If I can get a mag off and knock somebody with my teammates 20 feet behind, I'm gonna do it. Does this result in me dying 8 out of 10 times? Absolutely. And I don't think this is the kind of playstyle. Personally, I just don't like to compete too much. I am a very run and gun type player, and that's why I love dropping hot, but not too hot. If you're landing something like Fragment, personally, I'd rather get a kill or two from my own being than hit someone for 20 damage across the map, accidentally kill them, and then get sniped in the head by the 5th team coming in. I'm not too crazy. I like, something here. I'll go countdown. I enjoy warming up my aim a bit over in, the trials, which I see one of the teams actually is going to have some loot over there too. And it seems we're swapping right over here to Peaches as already they're a player down. Looks like they're on the run here.
Yeah, they're in trouble right now, and they're just trying to pedal out of that situation. And sometimes that breather is very helpful because the other team gets bored. They don't want to just camp the banner like I do because I'm petty. They rather rotate or do whatever they feel is necessary. And this player right here deciding to back off out of that situation to minimize it. And oh my goodness, as I switch up, Darkwing Ducks, and there goes your prediction, hoping that they were doing something good.
Fly high, my friends.
And they're
shooting the boxes. Disrespectful. First of all, we're gonna have to ban these players.
For you.
We're banning all these players. I think they did it on purpose because you're casting right now. What is going on right now?
Ops heard that bold prediction, and Ops made sure that they did not fly high, Eric.
Wow.
Ops, what have I done to you? What have I said? I have not been here. Oh my! I feel like I got that team murdered. I feel like I'm a second-degree accomplice to murder there.
Basically, man, I can't believe you did this to them.
Sick.
But it was great stuff by Ops right there, right? Scoring some good points, and we're gonna switch over and check out Team High Peak, who's also in a fight right now, trying to figure it out on this scenario with the team who's popped a couple shots and surprise attacked them a little bit. So they're kind of recovering from it, and actually, it's looking like they're safe in that scenario. So no trouble at all. Unless the team is sneaking somewhere and they can't find them right now. And this is where that, the whole meta with Bloodhound has changed so dramatically. I love it. I think it's pretty cool. Valk is taking over, but we always want to see changes and little variety. Personally, I like it when things change a bit for BR, for Apex specifically, so that we can play different legends and experience things differently, So
Yeah, absolutely.
with that in mind, we're gonna find the team that's a little busy right here, and it's Team Bread. That was the team I was also gonna predict that they might step it up. They're really low on the top 10. I think they were 8th or something like that. I'm sorry, 6th. But if they score a little bit close to 20, they can get right back in #1 spot. I just love seeing those comeback stories, man. It's nothing like it. Right, B?
That's it. That's one of those things where you really want to root for a team. You know that they've been grinding it. You know they've been getting, very consistent. And you just want to see them win. It's the underdog story. Not everyone's Rocky. Sometimes you just want to root for the guy who's just the true underdog, and it feels good to watch those teams really succeed.
And speaking of succeeding, it looks like we have a very aggressive breach coming in, and oh my, here comes an Arcstar. They're all grouped up. This is going to be deadly. It's going to flush them out or down nearly half of them. Somehow how they do lose a player, I don't see them losing this fight. There's the massive, the toxic caustic gas is not enough to finish him off. Bread, the resilient grain heroes that they are gonna boot up, and hopefully with this cover, they're gonna get right back into fighting.
Listen, I vote for bread. I'm actually on a diet and I'm not eating no bread, but as long as I can see the bread, at least I'm seeing right now. They just made me, oh man.
Well, now I'm thinking of a delicious piece of toast right now, Mahesh.
Oh, let's switch it up right now for a second, guys, so we can see Team Ops. They're currently busy trying to get some work done and surviving here. I love when I see the perfect timing for a bubble as somebody throws their assault airstrikes on them. And Ops is not looking good in this situation. They're pedaling to survive, so they have to be very careful. And that armor swap was so bad right now with a white shield, but they'll survive it.
Yeah, at least he got in the next one, he got a blue one, but they do see another team in the building, so it's going to be one of those fights where we're stuck again between a rock and a hard place, and there goes a third or even a fourth party. We've got teams surrounding them. Ops cannot wait.
Man, those shots were really nice, though. Oh my goodness, I'm loving what I'm seeing right now by Ops. They're just machines in this scenario. It feels like I'm watching Terminator. Are you seeing this, guys, with these PK?
Oh, he gets stuck. Here comes the Arc Star. Oh, he survives it. I was gonna say I felt a bit scared for Ops. I know they BM my boys out there, but they used a lot of utility. They threw caustic barrels, they threw caustic ult, and then they run all the way back, only get thirded by 2 other teams, and they're still standing.
And guys, just so you guys didn't see it, but Nobodies and Team Sturdy, top 4 teams, are eliminated in that situation and all of this madness that's going on. And that is insane, because that just means there's literally nobody from the top 4 still alive outside of C2N.
MD is still alive. MD is still alive. They can still.
Oh wait, MD. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, they can still find a good spot, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Now that the top teams are off of it, MD can sneakily get first place.
Right. I mean, they were only 7 points away from first place. Now that the 2 top teams were there, they have a chance. C2N also has a chance. Bread and GC, all of these guys have a chance to take over the scenario. And let's go ahead over and check out GC for a second and see what they got going on right now. They have a team above them that was rotating, and I think they're safe in this situation. But right now, you like this type of pressure. Again, this is the team that I want to watch personally, see what they can do, because I've seen them get 20 bombs in these tournaments against these teams. So who knows? And again, some of these new teams are here, so playing against new guys, it's a whole different ball game. They're actually pretty safe, guys. They're not really looking like they're going to be getting in any trouble just yet. They keep pinging. Like if there's somebody close by.
You see that? You saw that he stole that ranger off the ground? Who would leave a ranger on the ground?
Hey, if you don't have a good barrel stabilizer, I'm not putting that thing unless I got a blue. Because to be honest, I can aim, but like 30 FPS on a console, that recoil can get really tricky. Some nice little strafe jumps here from Kyle.
Yeah, some shots are raining down from the charge rifle, and it looks like this is Mag's former pick. His former pick, because now he switched picks to Bread.
No, I did not. I did not switch picks.
Guys, you heard him. You heard it here first, guys.
I said I was feeling Bread because they were having a hot game last game.
I cannot confirm or deny any of these statements
this is
here,
his
folks.
former pick, but they're in a really
these
good
guys.
spot.
Don't change my team. I called it.
Ooh, this
I
could
called
be
it
big.
from the
I'm saying
start.
a G7.
Actually, you know
let's
what's crazy? Team Bread has 6 kills. They're doing amazing. And Team Ops has 10, guys. So Team Ops, who was in 11th place with 23, has 10 kills. They stole almost half the kills here.
We do have a team that just died. Bent, I believe, is out.
Yeah,
And
it's
in
a
all,
pretty
actually-
busy lobby. Let's take a look and
Team
see
Bread is-
what's going on. Actually, hold on a second. it looks like GC is about to take their fight right now.
They're kind of eyeing across there, trying to see what they can find out about him, what kind of utility they can force early. Lots of ammo on the R301 with the 3x. That's incredibly beneficial. And you can sort of see it in this type of team composition in itself. You know, they've got that Bangalore for that nice mix of offense and defense with that passive and smoke. They've got Wraith for safe, you know, rotations and, you know, really aggressive portals if they need. And they have a Gibby because, let's be honest, if you don't have a Gibby, I don't know if we make the top 10. What are you doing?
I agree with that. I think my problem with that is that we don't see a lot of variety in picking all these awesome legends. We have 20 legends to pick from, you know. We're gonna rotate actually and check out this fight right now. Good guys are about to get eliminated by High Peak. High Peak just going in insane right now, doing some great stuff at the moment. And you gotta love what they're doing. They're trying to step it up.
I think that was an Arc Star that was. Yep, they're on the height now. They're gonna go for the Wraith portal. They're gonna try to get out as fast as possible. Try to reset. Not a far Wraith portal. I don't know. I think that was more of a reactionary play. But they're gonna be able to reset in time, mostly. You can see that if Crims gets close range here, he's got the Master, he's got the Wingman. That guy still has fate on him. Goes for the slide out. 2v1. It's probably gonna be a bubble fight. Yep.
It is.
Beautiful stuff
Gibby
here.
going down.
Somehow
They turned it
surviving
back.
this so far. Wow. High Peak going in and getting it done, and they're sitting pretty here with 5 eliminations.
Look who it was. It was Bread who was eliminated from that. I'm sorry, Mag, your prediction.
That was not my pick. GC was my pick, and we're gonna see what they can do. They're still in the thick of it. There's still some top teams still in the thick of it, as a matter of fact. The teams we're watching with the highest scores, some of them are still in it. MD still in the mix right now. C2N still in the mix right now. Those two teams were on top of the leaderboards, and still very early. A lot of game left. You never know, one of these other teams can just destroy the lobby and take it all. So
Yes,
Team
small
Ops
ring
is
and
actually
10 teams.
14 kills, by the way. Check that out from Team Ops.
Wow, that is definitely going to bump them up. A little bit of peak shots here with a purple stabler and a 301. Nice little tags. They're going to be moving in on the care package here. Those red weapons, they are a valuable currency, and you want to make sure you pick them up first to get as much value as you can. The question is, can you survive picking them up? Oh. And all of a sudden, I absolutely will tell you right now that Ops is going to play a lot slower, a lot more ranged, and a lot more defensive. They're going to bank on this Kraber being able to body shot, and then they're just going to full send it, I think.
Yes, and you know we love, well, personally, I love these Kraber shots. Honestly, I do say it needs a nerf, but only for our tournaments. If I'm playing Apex, let me play with the damn Kraber the way it is. But if we're gonna run a tournament, let's put a button and we can turn it on and off and make it a little different. And there's a big change coming to the Kraber. It's going to have a charge up, a longer charge up, so that it's gonna take a long time to do some damage. And there's gonna be a couple other changes coming for this season. We'll talk about more later after the stream or something like that. But look at this right here with the Kraber shots. He only got 9 shots. You got to be really, really careful and utilize it to his advantage here. You can demolish a lobby with this thing, and Ops already top dogging it. And now let's see him if he can utilize it.
Yeah, he
barely
wasted
gets
a
that
lot of
battery.
shots. And he wasted a lot of shots, and it looked like he was trying to do exactly what he was doing. He was stray shooting. With a Kraber, it's a little bit tougher to get those shots off if you're not really staying still and you're really setting your feet. But he's looking to go throw and be aggressive and throw a caustic ult, and he's hitting. And
These are some very, very big ticks. Gonna go for the no scope. Let's see it.
Oh
There
my
it is.
goodness.
Oh, that's unfortunate. And it looks
Oh
like
my goodness.
the headshot. Call it ambulance.
That was beautiful, and that's exactly all I wanted to see, guys. We had to stay on here until he finishes all his ammo. We got 3 more bullets. We could switch it up on another team, but man, this is beautiful stuff so far. Some
GC
good
Kyle
damage,
just
but
gets
he's
a
getting ripped.
3K. Ring's coming. They have to move. That ring is not going to be happy to see them in their zone. But they got to get the shield heals off. They got a bit of cover. And they have Gibby Bubble if they need to. He's just going to look to probably try to spend the rest of his ammo there if possible. Going for the bubble play already. Okay, there's the airstrike outside. Yeah, very good play there. He's going to want to try to probably peek out, try to see, but the problem is his own caustic barrel is kind of going to stop him from kind of glancing and looking at them. They know he has the Kraber. They know whoever was over there has that deadly one-shot weapon. I don't think they've been counting shots though, so I don't think they know how many, one-shot kills he has left. Does he want to wait? Ooh. And here it is. I think we're going to see a Valk tactical, and I think they're going to push it. Or do they play a little more conservative?
Man, these guys got 17 kills already, guys. So they're insane in this match right now. They might go for the 20 bomb if they can survive. It looks like they're in a bad position, guys. They're about to get pushed at this very moment. So many grenades coming at them. You know that's what's going to happen usually when there's so many grenades coming at you. The team is getting ready to take you. It cracked them 3 times already with those grenades.
I bet you that's GC. I bet you that's Bang Smoke. I bet that's Kyle Smoke, and he's just kind of suppressing them, keeping them on their toes. I mean, look at all the heals they've had to burn. That's the second Gibby Bubble that they forced out. Goes to play in the open now. Oh, not much HP, no bubble to play behind. Can the caustic barrels save him?
That is MD. MD is going to push them up right now. GC's on the far right side, MD's on the far left side, and it looks like they're just tanking a lot of damage from the rest of the lobby. They're getting shot from the back, and he's going for the armor swap real quick.
He doesn't
cannot get it. He couldn't get it.
GC's coming up from behind them.
Yeah,
and they're clearing up the lobby right now. He got one rat there, but GC's took their position, and now they have this spot for the moment. It's not a good spot, honestly. I mean, it's really not. There's so many great areas, but this is the end of the ring, so they have to hold this. There's not much ground to cover at the moment, and I'm loving the smoke from Bangalore disturbing the peace. This is one of those things where you can't see what's going on. You're trying to figure out what's happening, and it's always interesting, and we need to see more of Bangalore in these comps, by the way. But great stuff right here. We're gonna switch it up to GC, apologies, and see their position. This is the team I wanted. I'm rooting for these guys right now. I said they were gonna win it today on this match. I didn't know if they're gonna win the whole thing, but they looking really good for the win at this moment, because Ops is out. Ops had a crazy number of 17 eliminations on that in this game right here. So 4 teams left. Really solid stuff. A lot of good teams on the board, but it's only Full Send and MD that have full players. Not even MD has 2 players. GC,
Full Send and GC.
GC and Full Send are the only 2 teams. You could take a look at Full Send inside, trying to hold their position, and they keep getting smoked out by Kyle, which is a really genius move, and they're smoking themselves out a bit to not allow any type of suppressed fire to stop them. And this is a great spot to be right here for them. They're gonna hold this down. They don't have a caustic or anything, but they can smoke it out, and they can also, try to throw that horizon when they get pushed. So we're gonna see what happens here in the grand finale. And look at this, one of their players gets down. Tough situation.
The nade spam. Here it comes. It's not good for them because they are getting pushed from behind. This is not a good. GC's gonna hear this, and they're gonna third party this.
And yes, they are, and they're gonna be the team to beat. And like I said, predicting one thing right out of all this 6 games. Great stuff. Great stuff by GC. They're gonna get this win here, guaranteed. I can put my life on that. But the question is, did they score enough? I don't believe so. They did not.
Almost gets the 1 clip, and there it is. The rat goes down, and I think GC has this 3 players to, I believe, 2. They're cracked low. They don't have the health armor or armor swaps. And there it is. GC going to be saying, you stay in that little car. We're just going to take you out, and we're going to take the win.
Yeah, that was a great performance by them as far as just staying alive and winning. They didn't go crazy with the KP. We had an awesome Ops take over and do some really solid stuff, but it was good enough for us. As you can see here, Full Send looked good. I like their positioning. They were in the center of the actual ring. If they had other teams contesting each other, they probably would have won this. The issue was it was just them and a couple of rats plus GC, and GC's grenades and other teams' grenades that were pushing them. The rat caused this right here for GC to get aggressive and decide, hey, we're going to take this over and make it work. And that's what happened. And it was a great performance by Ops overall for the 17 eliminations. We're going to see what the scores are in a second. But guys, how y'all feel about that grand finale there?
MD was my prediction on who is winning this all, and they had 5 kills with 4th place. So that might be enough. GC did
it definitely
have
is.
8 kills. And I think MD's going to end up taking this like I predicted.
Yeah, we're going to check out the leaderboards in a minute here. We're watching the grand finale of GC just clear this up, though. Right now, they were very comfortable. They got lucky. There was a bunch of rats and then one full team inside this truck, and they just cleaned it up and got it done. And actually, the rats helped them by pushing those teams as well. So great stuff there. We're going to go right into the leaderboards. It's getting updated as we speak, guys. But oh my goodness.
Look at the shift.
What? We should have put some type of bet on this. It looks like MD might have that final score. I'm going to check with our scoreboard leaders, and this is a live updates that scores can change. But there it is. Last game. Official stats are updated. MD rocking the house, and also our caster B being correct. That's why they call him B, because he be correct.
He be correct.
Because you got any victory speech prepared or anything?
I wanna thank the academy. I wanna thank my mom. Without you, none of this was possible. I appreciate
You are the real
Mom.
MVP, Mom.
You're the real MVP.
I feel like you should be
You're the real
thanking
champion.
MD. Without them, this wouldn't have happened at all.
That's true.
They're the
You
ones
know what
doing
was
all the
crazy?
shit.
It was actually Ops. Ops are the real winners because they eliminated PG and nobodies. Those are the teams to beat
true.
at that time. They were the top dogs with the highest scores.
Like,
Yeah, I
very-
think that would
and
took
look,
a lot of balls to take those teams on. But you know, that Kraber is just such an equalizer. You might have a slightly better position. You might have better gunplay. This gun, it's going to take that away from you. And it really, you could kind of see that as a mediocre shotgun, which kind of RNG with the hipfire, but really good use of it. Kind of just not exactly hoarding the ammo. And there's not really a reason to hoard the ammo, right? You want to get as many kills and, you know, as much damage and pressure as you can in that fast time. You might not live to use the rest of the ammo, so you want to make sure you use it all up. And that's what they did. He burned a lot of shots, yes. He revealed where the Kraber was. But look, he got 2 kills out of it at least. Probably 2 team wipes out of it.
Yeah, it
Well,
was pretty insane.
also-
Shout out to Ops, but the winners, and we're looking at it now for everybody just to make it clear. MD has won today, but these numbers are all going into the standings. They get to play in 10 events. Every team, even you, if you want to play, come sign up. 10 events, and all those scores get added up, and we'll see who's in the top of the standings. You can go to madgamer.com and check the standings out for yourself. MD did an amazing job today, performing well, but guess what? The whole lobby did. This is a performance by every single player. 60 players came in and they did their job for us, viewers and us fans. It was a great performance. I was predicting one team, somebody was picked on a different team, and then somehow MD came out with the victory, and it was a great, interesting finish, to say the least. I love what I saw. Super grateful. I want to give a quick plug-in moment to both these guys, but we're going to start off with B. Where can we find you? If you can give us your social, you have a Twitter or something like that?
You can find me on Twitch. I've got Brendang2. You'll catch me there. I'll be a lot more active as of recent, and you'll catch me there. So great seeing y'all.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming. I hope you come back for more. It was great stuff by you, man.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you, Mag. You know this won't be the last, so excited for like the great things that are about to come, because we're gonna, like I spoke MD into existence, we're gonna speak this into existence.
Got you. And then we have the one and only Eric here, who came through and put in some work for the last 2 games. If you want to give your plug in real quick so people can know where to find you.
Sure. If for some reason you guys feel, hey, what if I want to branch out, maybe find some other games? Apex, that's great, but like, come on, we got to play a couple hours and we'll be like, maybe we got to switch to something else. I make some Overwatch content over on YouTube.com, and check out Eric Komori if you'd like. I do sort of variety stuff. Twitch, I don't stream too often. Connection's not that good, but if you would give me a follow on Twitch, same name, Eric Komori, that would be very appreciated to anybody watching. And Mag, thank you for having me. I know I wasn't here the whole time, but I gotta say, I was very enamored, if you will, by this production, and I very much had a great time watching these last two games, and these last two very high intensity games. There's a lot riding on these.
Definitely was some fun stuff, and I appreciate you, man. You guys both did awesome. Honestly, it was like a dream team scenario for me, just the natural chemistry and the natural abilities. So I'm super grateful to have Casters. We want to welcome the community to come on board, players alike. If you're a player and you want to jump on board, that's what I'm doing here, is allowing players to be a part of it, and also, you know, engage and build the community, because we're just growing, we're just starting. We're going to go in a year, in a couple weeks from now, it'll be the first year doing Apex events, so we're going to celebrate that too. So thank you guys so much for everybody watching. We are definitely going to be back tomorrow, same time, same program, with possibly some brand new teams and some brand new scenarios. It's going to be a little wild and crazy. We'll see how that works. I see some of the same teams, but I also see a lot of new teams signed up that might come out and give you guys a great show. There's some teams that we've known before who didn't play today that will play tomorrow. And then you have some of the teams that play today, like Team Nobody, Team Sturdy, you know, MD, who put in a great performance. You know, you have a lot of teams coming back. I'm looking at the list as we speak. So if you want to sign up for that, go right ahead, head over to the Discord, sign up. It's still open right now. We allow 20 teams to play, but we allow more than 20 to sign up, because if a team is late more than 10 minutes, we'll replace them with a secondary team who's signed up. So get in there and get yourself involved. All right. So that's the general information. Today's games, 6 games, were all to get these teams a chance to qualify by scoring the highest points. We have a leaderboard. We have a standings stats for those teams that gets updated every Monday. We run a couple events every week, and then on Monday we'll do the standings, and so you can check that out and see where your team is at every week, and then go from there. It's been a fun one today. Some incredible performance by a lot of these cool teams, and these teams deserve the spot. I believe that, you know, competing against top players in the world, pro players, you know, there's a mixture of new players, pro players, and everything in our events, because we don't limit it. And we really excited about seeing this weekend that just passed in the ALGS. I got to see some of the players who started playing competitively in our events and ended up getting signed and now competing in the playoffs of the ALGS last weekend that just passed. And, you know, that's inspirational, and this is what we do. We try to build a family community of competitive esports, trying to lift everybody up to the next level. So Casters, for example, have gotten signed off of working with us. For example, right now we had Brandon and Eric come on board, and they, you know, can take highlights from what they've said, the great commentary they had today, make a video, and then put it out there to apply for some job as a commentator. And that's what some other guys did. 2 other people working with me, I suggested that to them, and they ended up getting hired, doing some really great work off of just coming and hanging out with me and doing this casually, let's just say. So again, this is the place to be when it comes to building your brand, building yourself. We want to try to be there for everybody, and we appreciate you. So with all that out of the way, I'm going to close this up very early. If you got any thoughts or comments, go ahead and hit me up on Discord or Twitter, wherever. We're open for everybody. Try to be accessible every day, and you know, just interact with you guys as much as humanly possible. We'll was an amazing game. Really, really, really great stuff. Tomorrow should be very interesting with some of the new teams and some of the returning teams coming back. So appreciate it. See you guys tomorrow. Again, it's the same time tomorrow. All right. 6 p.m. the matches start. I'm gonna start the stream early and do a pregame, but should be a fun one tomorrow. All right. You guys have a great night. Take care. Stay blessed.